All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Take two.
Another take, you guys.
It's okay.
But at least we hadn't gone for too long, right?
This happens to the best of us, man.
So yeah, welcome to a special edition of the Kisingani podcast. Today we've caught some Sajid Coffee Pump Manenos in the building.
What's up?
Mazeo, shout out. In fact, I'd forgotten to press this. I hear them in full.
Okay, great. But thanks for having me on, bro.
No, karibu sana. We've pangered this podcast a few times.
Yes, we were actually saying, there was a saying you said that podcasts happen when they happen.
Yes.
And maybe just to give the audience a bit of context, we were initially planning on doing midnight coffee run last Friday. Now, because we put the camera out on the bonnet, it was drizzling, so we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And then Sato Fikad, I had a commitment at 3:30. We wanted to start at 2.
Yeah.
And we're like, you know what? We need a bit of time. So I appreciate your patience as well.
No, cheers. Podcasting has taught me mega patience.
Do people cancel on you, by the way?
Yeah, many times. They bump. They don't say, no, I won't come, but they bump it to other dates. And then another thing I've learned is not having shame.
Yeah, by the way.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a guy called Eugene Bugwa. Shout out to him. He's the one of something called DNR Studios.
Okay.
Documentaries and something studios.
Something over there.
All right. So he's the one who produced The Roast. I don't know if you come across footage of The Roast.
Is it like a stand-up comedy thing?
Yes. It's a roast, like the roast of you. So you come, you sit there, comedians are all over
and then they
your
roast
stuff.
you. Yeah.
So this guy, you can kosana with him today, or rather you have differences, but he'll still call you next week for another gig. Like for him, business comes
Business
first.
is business.
Yeah.
I like that sort of mentality. To be honest, one thing so I work in sales, but within podcasts, I didn't use the same sales principles. Where as a sales guy, you have to be a whore. You know, there's no shame. You got to get your buck. You have to go out there. You have to stand at all sorts of wee hours just to get the attention until someone lets you in. By the way, are we allowed to cuss?
Yeah, you're allowed to cuss.
To cuss out. Maybe that's why you're getting demonetized. Those F words. So with podcasts, I was like, you know what? Let me just use people within my ether that I respect.
Yeah.
And one thing that I realized is, as good as that was, there are some people that I'm genuinely interested in, but in order to get to them, I have to get to their right-hand man, who personally I may feel is an asshole.
Yes.
But you have to do what you do. You have to be a slut about it. You have to suck it up. You have to get them on the podcast in order to go back.
I remember there was a time I was with this feminist chick. Don't shout out to her. But anyway, I have no problem with feminists, but she was like feminist proper. So I brought in Andrew Kibe. We were talking about that a few moments ago.
Yes.
So after that, why would you bring Andrew Kibe? Why are you platforming?
So
misogynist.
It's so weird that you say that, bro. It's so weird that you say that. There's a mama who messaged this other guy about me. I'm going to try and show that to you. Same Andrew Kibe line of principle.
So just before you show me that, right?
While I find it.
Yeah. So this chick starts telling me, why are you platforming that misogynist? How will my friends react to that? So I'm like, I am in the podcast business.
Exactly. You have to
I talk to anyone. I'm like a journalist, so to speak.
Correct.
So there are some people who I don't agree with. All right.
But
who I'll have on the pod.
Yeah, from a porn star to the Pope.
Exactly, man.
And everyone in between.
Yeah.
The two polar opposites. So check this message. You appeared on Sajid's podcast. The dude hosted Kibe. Kibe tried justifying femicide. Anyone who hosts Kibe is trash. Alafu. Then she's like, within the community, we know he likes his girls. Itabidi,
Damn.
Just shit talkers because of Kibe. But one thing I'll say about Kibe is respect where respect is given. He has a very polarizing opinion of things.
Yeah.
But for me personally, he came on my podcast when I had zero traction. He just went off the basis of Eric's pitch. This is a good guy.
Yeah.
He's an up-and-coming podcaster. Go. So that video we first did with him in December got me 200,000 views.
200,000.
100,000.
Damn, man! Shout out.
And basically,
100,000 views.
100,000.
Yeah, it was your first 100,000 view video.
Before that, I was doing 900 views. 700 views.
So how's it feeling like when you're seeing the views racking up?
It didn't hit me. I think it was a combination of multiple things. First of all, it was I have this. What's this? You know that syndrome where you don't believe in yourself? Imposter syndrome.
Oh, okay.
So imposter syndrome sort of kicked in. Now, we launched it on Christmas Eve. So there was a combination of multiple things. One, Kibe hadn't really done a podcast in a while. Okay.
Oh, he was back. He was in
Right 47.
Yeah.
He came back from Ride 47.
Uh-huh.
And then we had the benefit of now this is after the Christmas, I think it was 26, after the Christmas holidays. People are chilling, people are relaxed. So everyone's at home.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we just dropped out of nowhere, Kibe is back. So those numbers started stacking up. I remember when I used to do lives, because we always live stream whenever we do a show. We used to get maybe 5 to 10 viewers.
Okay.
We started reaching 200, 250, 300, 400. I was like, okay, this is real. And I'd never seen views like that. But that being said, you know how much I got paid for that video?
How much?
$200.
For real?
For 100,000 views.
So what is it, like €2 per 1,000?
And that goes to show you our CPMs over here, which is the cost per 1,000 views, in Kenya is so crap.
Do you mind sharing your RPM?
We can check it out right now, bro.
Mine is 2.2.
And we're on the same budget WhatsApp group, eh?
But
how do you check that? Yeah, let's
okay. To be honest, I don't know. Check
so view payment activity.
I don't know. We can check the YouTube phone app.
It doesn't tell you, so you have to probably go to analytics and then it tells you. But revenue. So let's say I'm making about 150 euros a month now. All right, and
all right,
which is because there's some big videos. But yeah, it's that's how much it is, the estimated revenue.
Oh, okay. This is like for the last month?
Yeah, this is for the last month.
Oh, okay.
But now, the reason I'm bringing this up is Eric had Big Homie CC.
Yeah.
The audience retention for that was American, right?
Yeah.
90 to, let's say maybe 80% at the lowest was American viewers. And the rest were Kenyan subscribers. He's made close to 2,000 euros just for that one video.
Damn, manzi.
Just one video. So it goes to show for you and me, as much as we have our Kenyan brethren, we have to also start focusing on bringing international views.
Yeah, true.
And come to think about it this way. How many people do you know advertise on YouTube in Kenya? Like maybe Safaricom, Airtel. Glovo, Uber Eats.
Yeah.
Like a handful of companies, right?
Yeah, true.
In US, bro, every Tom, Dick and Harry has their businesses advertising on Google with search optimization on YouTube. So the amount advertisers pay over there is 10 times higher.
Yeah.
If I've got $200 for Kibe and he's following, what's stopping us for going to American folks and trying to get their people to pay attention to us? I think that's how podcasters such as us can genuinely flip the switch and make a living from this fully.
Yes. No, there's this guy called Ayamaro. Do you know that guy?
Ayamaro, please tell me about him.
Ayamaro is this YouTuber guy.
Okay.
So he went to Campo in South America.
Yeah.
Then when he was there, I think, was it Colombia? Then he started vlogging. He just started vlogging. So he built some sort of foreign audience.
Yes.
So the guy lives in some village in Hispania. You know Hispania?
Yes, but then he has a huge South American following.
Yeah, he now has a more of a global following because he went to the States.
Insane.
So this guy just lives off his freaking vlog.
That's what you need to do.
And you can tell he's making a lot of money from the things he's doing. Guy built a freaking villa.
Uko.
Juicy bought a 4matic Benz.
Really?
A tour. You know these tour trucks?
Yes.
He bought one like that. Juicy too. Like you can tell from the thing that he's doing. But he's also really disciplined. He releases a vlog every single day.
Okay, so then that takes a lot of effort as well.
Yes.
And he's doing it full time,
yes,
right?
But I think the fact that his audience is not like Kenyan only audience, he can make more bread.
Well, it pays because if you come to think about it, podcast is something that I'm sure comes to you naturally. Just your energy, us meeting, communicating on the phone. It seems like you're comfortable. You're comfortable in front of a stage or with different audiences, but with me as well, you sort of you've passed that barrier of someone doesn't want to reveal stuff to you.
Oh, okay.
We've passed it. So you've elicited this weird thing. Maybe it's the energy. Kuna some pH meter over here. But
maybe it's this light.
Maybe it's this light. but you see, people are comfortable for you. So it's only natural that you take this now beyond the confines of Kenya. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because you're skilled. So should we go from earning $20 to $30 a video to start making thousands of dollars per video?
Yeah, true. Like for our podcast, it has just started paying the rent for this place.
Okay.
This place is around 13 Gs.
Okay.
So we have like maybe 30 members.
Yeah.
So the members give from $1 above.
Yeah.
So the members bring in maybe like 25 to 28 euros. Then the rest is YouTube.
Yeah.
Whatever ads.
Let me ask you, given the choice, would you do this full time if it could pay the bills, all the bills?
Definitely. What do you mean?
Exactly.
What kind of question is this? No, I love it. I feel like my most alive times are when I'm over here doing the pod.
Same. I love podcasting. The people I've met over the last 2 years since I've started has been as a result of the podcast. So it's not giving me monetary benefit yet, but the social structure of things in Kenya and meeting people who know things, it has definitely, and it's vastly improved it quite significantly, right? I would have never connected with Eric, right? Eric has become one of my closest friends.
How do you guys meet?
You know, we were in school together, Beleni.
Oh, for real?
Eric and I went to St. Mary's.
Oh, okay. So shout out to Eric, man.
Yeah.
Stand-up guy.
So Eric joined us in Form 1. At the time, so I did class 1 to class 8. Alafu Mzee moved to Nakuru to start a business.
All right.
And I was closest in proximities, like you come with me. So I ended up going to a school called Shalalji.
I know Shalalji.
You know Shalalji?
Yeah, because me I was in Lions Primary at some point.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Shalalji was like the upgrade from Lions.
And there was Greensteads, but Greensteads was another level.
Yes.
Kulikuwa na Melvin Jones. Melvin Jones? Remember Melvin Jones? The one that was area 58. So the first day I went there, I got into a fight. And I got suspended. So my dad is like, on your first day, bro, you're going to fight. At that time, I was even chubbier than this. So there was some guys that were picking on me, so I got into a fight. Shalalji was better because it was like 50 or so people, right? So very small school. And it was my first experience in a mixed school. Anyway, did Shalalji enjoyed it a ton. Stayed there for about 1.5 years. Didn't want to come back to Nairobi. Mzee's business didn't work out over there. So he's like, we have to go back. So when I joined back, I joined Saints and I was supposed to be placed in Eric's class. But then
Same year.
But then what they were telling me is you have to play catch up. And I was like, okay,
why?
This is KCSE. Because what happens is when you go from year 8, you're supposed to go year 9, year 10.
Yeah.
But then they wanted me to start at year 9. So the year 9 equivalent is Form 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I ended up just doing the IGCSE system again. Now, Eric and I were... So he was doing the KCSE, which is the Form 1, Form 2s. And I was doing the IGCSE, which is the British system.
Okay.
And we just happened to meet each other. We connected, talked about 50 Cent. He was into Marshall Mathers.
Those days?
Those days. He was heavily into rap. And he was always a jovial guy. Whenever we'd meet, he used to call me Chiga. So Chuti.
Oh, right.
because I was heavily into rap. And Eric was the first Jama who ever gave me alcohol. This is a story.
He was recruiting other guys.
He was recruiting. So this is a story I've told. This is a story I've told on Eric's podcast. But basically, he found out years later after we reconnected why he got suspended. So the story was, Eric meets me one day. He's like, have a swig of this. So he gave me something. I'm not sure if it was Vodou. It was my first time ever tasting alcohol. It's just a weird tasting
Napoleon.
So he basically went to all the guys in our class and gave them and offered them a drink. So we were having fun. Break time finishes. Everyone goes back to their classes. Headmaster comes. Can smell alcohol. And he's seen a bottle somewhere.
He left the bottle.
I don't know where he left it, but the headmaster found the bottle.
He spotted it.
So he asks us, who drank this? Everyone is quiet. He goes to Eric's class. Who drank this? Everyone is quiet. He comes back to our class and he's like, if you guys don't tell me, I'm going to suspend you and some of you will get expelled. There was a Jama called Muhammad Jaffa. Snitch, put his hand up.
Singing like a canary.
It was Eric. Eric and them were not told anything. They were told to pack their bags and go. So Eric was thinking, it's like, us guys, we had our stories together. Who snitched? He was doing, as Eric likes saying, all the potentialities. He couldn't figure it out until years later that it was Muhammad Jaffa who snitched.
So you're the one who told him years later that it's...
Yeah, so when we connected... I'm like, do you remember you're the first Jama that ever gave me alcohol? And then I told the story on his podcast. He's like, it's Muhammad Jaffa. And maybe to describe Muhammad Jaffa, he was a chuti kid. And I think he started growing a beard when he was like 6 years old.
All right.
He had thick glasses, Urkel type glasses. And used to walk.
Was it the chutis for wearing that round thing?
I think he's one of those guys. And he used to walk a bit like handicapped. He couldn't run properly. He had a weird motion. We're always wondering, like, how can someone be so unfit and so uncoordinated, but is extremely brilliant mentally?
Right.
I have an answer to that. So one day we had gone swimming. Now in Saints, when you go swimming, you have to naturally have your swimming costume, and if you don't have, guess what? You go to Lost and Found and you beba someone else's swimming costume. So this was the only time Muhammad Jaffa forgot his swimming costume, and me, I always used to forget it.
Yeah.
So we picked up swimming costume. We were told to stand in line before we were swimming. Mr. Kimani, our coach, lines us up. And all of a sudden, everyone has gone quiet as Muhammad Jaffa comes walking. So I wasn't paying attention. He came, he stood next to me, and then people started laughing. And then Mr. Kimani just did like this. He nodded his head in disdain. So when we turn over and we look at Mohammed Jaffa, he took a boxer or like a swimming costume that was 4 times his size, but he didn't realize. Bro, the guy had the biggest dick I've ever seen in my life. You know what you call
that Jaffa guy?
A nuclear reactor dick. And we were all like, that makes sense why he's so uncoordinated, because that thing is sucking the life out of him.
Okay. So, it is an anchor.
It is an anchor, bro. That thing has its own life force.
Damn, you guy.
The guy jumps in, he drowns immediately.
Okay, God has given you something.
Hey, bro. So anyway, that's the long story short. With that, the podcast, basically, to circle back, is how we connected with Eric. And Eric has always been that person that's always wanted to do more than a 9 to 5, right? He's had that personality. It's something we shared. So he actually saw one of my reels on TikTok.
Yeah.
He's like, this is Sajid from Saints.
Yeah.
He's also doing a podcast. And he reached out to me. And the reason we bonded was we both have day jobs. We both are doing sort of quote unquote 9 to 5s.
Yeah.
But we both want to pursue this podcast and we want to branch out. And one of our reasons for us gelling well is also financial independence.
Yeah.
You know, we have these calls late at night and we talk about, bro, what if we do this? What if we do this? What if we do this? And by associating with him and sort of going beyond the confines of my comfort zone, what I realized is I run into folks like you guys as well.
Yeah, true. Season hooked me up with your number, actually.
Exactly. So you see, the thing is, it's all a community, and he's eager to support us because we all have this dream of making something beyond.
Yeah, true.
Making something of our name, right? Legacy defining. And what I realized is when you surround yourself with folks such as yourself, such as Eric, the positivity just it flows naturally.
Yeah, true.
And so when you all share that dream, it's easier to sort of vision it, right?
Yeah,
It's
true.
not just by yourself.
Then you also learn, right?
And you learn
from each other. I like Eric's passion.
Yes.
Like he has a very big vision for his podcast. And then he speaks like the way he talks, like, no, I'm the number 1 podcaster.
Correct.
And it's not arrogantly, like it's just what he wants to do.
Correct. Which is weird for me because I come from the school of thought that success should reflect on its own, in its own image, right? When you brag about it, when you talk about it, you sort of cheapen it. But Eric has the opposing school of thought. He's like, no, you should say that you are genuinely, if you believe you're number 1, say you're number 1.
Yeah.
I feel that maybe do it and let other people say, actually, he's the GOAT. Because that means more, right? So him and I co-sign on that as well. And in fact, this is a good question for you. Eric started putting send me M-Pesa.
Okay.
To support the channel.
Yeah.
Do you do that as well on your channel?
I do in the description. But I have let me give you a backstory.
Yeah, so you see, this is the same discussion, yeah?
Yes, when we started out this podcast, I used to podcast in my mom's house because my mom was unwell.
Yes.
So I was her sort of daily caregiver. I'm the one who used to hang out with her and drive her to hospital and back. So I had to be around her.
Yeah.
So at that time I used to do stand-up in the evening, right? But during the day it was a bit quiet because I'm not doing anything except taking care of my mom.
Yeah.
So I was asking myself, what can I do and be around her and still get something going?
Yeah.
So I had all this equipment and some other older lights.
Yes.
So I went to Muaf's podcast. Shout out to Muaf, by the way. And so he had this thing.
One of your most viewed videos was Muaf's tour studio.
Yes.
I
think has 35G videos.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So I went to Muaf's. I saw he has this and he has some lights. I had all the things he had.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me start a podcast.
Yeah.
So I went to one of the rooms. I told my mom, I'm going to be shooting podcasts here. And then I started shooting. So fast forward, I'd quit my job at Standard Group.
You at Standard Group?
Yeah, I used to be at Standard Group. I used to be at a place called Spice FM.
Okay, yes. Yes.
So I'm doing the pod in my mom's house. Fast forward, my mom passes on. I move the pod out of there. I get some place in South B because we had to rent out my mom's apartment. So I got some place in South B where we continued shooting the podcast. But I realized, because we used to do live streams. So when we do the live stream, guys would send money. All right? Because you put your M-Pesa there, then guys would like, there was a saying, Cheza na Mpepe. So like, Cheza na Mpepe.
Yeah.
So at the end of the night, I'd check and see, hey, how many guys have sent money? So it reached a point where I was not doing the podcast because I'm interested in what we have to say. It's so that guys can cheza na Mpepe.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
so that became now a problem for me. So I stopped doing the live streams. Then I said I'm gonna go back just to doing the podcast without depending on any. Okay, guys still send up on a pale. Sometimes I randomly put my number. Most of the time I put it in the description. But I never want to do the podcast again so that somebody sends Mpepe. That's the wrong intention.
And I think we align on that as well. The counter argument is Eric's side, and I agree with him to the point that we don't have stuff like Patreon here. We don't have people who can utilize credit cards or sign up. M-Pesa is a form of payment that's unanimous with every Kenyan, right? And so in order for us to get like a Patreon or subscription-based model, we have to sort of dive this way. But I think where I agree with you is the opposite side is Gary V's book, Jab, I think right hook or left hook. Don't quote me, but you can just put up the book over here. He goes by the education of provide free value. Provide like a jab. And then when you ask for something in return, people have noticed you've given them so much free stuff. That's the right hook. So you give a lot of free stuff out. You provide a lot of informational content. And then when you scale it up and you have a product or service, then you can ask money for it. People will be more willing to give.
Yeah, I think so.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. There's something Eric does nowadays, and I told him to hook me up with that guy, where he puts something, you tip. I don't think that's not very hard. I like that.
I was making fun of Eric that his entire podcast was the podcast is over here. The whole tip thing is 3/4 of the screen.
Even me the other day I said a tip. I was like, hey, this is nice. Because you just scan it, and then you tip. But like that's a very, it's like an impersonal way of. It's not in your face. Like, where? Two more pesa. It's just like, if you're enjoying this thing, send a tip, which I'm fine with.
Yeah, which is okay.
But the lobbying is where I find a problem.
Force.
Yeah. Check now. Where, man?
Send.
Please, man.
But there's also the psychology thing where when you're doing live streams that we were just talking about it. I think the reason people send money is because they like hearing their own name being shouted out. Like, hey, Ero, thank you for sending 5 sock. Appreciate it, bro. Hey, Brayo, cheers for sending. There's something about that. I've like there's a guy's TikTok channel who's literally based on making fun of people who subscribe to streamers. They send millions and millions just because subscribers shout their names out.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You've seen that stuff, right? So in a way, it's also psychology because you're showing appreciation. Like when I watch a podcast with Eric, I'll watch it to make sure. Because he told me, hey, I shouted you out.
Oh, so you're waiting for that?
So I'm waiting. You see,
waiting for that point.
Waiting for that point. Obviously, you get numb to it eventually because the content is out there, but it plays to that psychology.
No, yeah, it does. No, I hear you. I remember, but we've had, to be honest, we've had a lot of support from our guys. That laptop over there, there's a time guys were changang for a laptop. And then some guy said, I've bought the laptop.
Really?
Yeah. Some guy called, we call him El Jefe.
That's dope.
Yeah, so he sent that
shout
laptop.
out El Jefe.
What else? This stuff, some lady from Frames Kenya just decided to make for us these frames.
But what you have is you have a community, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that's what you've taken time to build. I think us were still virgins at this.
I think you have built a community so far, right?
Yeah, I mean, but we've been... Okay, so I mean, the community is there. But what I would say is your diehards probably seem like there are a lot more there. So for someone to send you a laptop, for someone to do all this for you, it takes a bit of getting to know you. The familiarity with... How many episodes are you in? How many episodes do you have?
Officially, 160 something.
Yeah, so
unofficially, 200.
Yeah, so by the time Eric and I get to 100... I'm sure the level of attachment and respect we have between the people that constantly watch and vice versa is going to be much higher. It's similar to what you have. Do you get what I mean?
But I also feel if you do live streams, you get a more solid community.
True. Yeah, but
there's something about live streaming. The fact that people are seeing you in real time and you're reacting in real time, it bonds you with guys.
Actually, we should try that. How do you do live stream? Just from the phone?
Yeah, from my phone. My setup was very simple. I just go on my phone. I want to get back to live streaming in this studio. So I've actually called those fiber guys to come bring in some fast Wi-Fi here.
Props to your setup, bro. I really, really like it.
You guys, this setup didn't look like this a month ago, bro.
It's nice.
You should really go back in time and see. No, but in terms of that M-Pesa thing, you're right. We still need to get the support from the guys.
Yeah, correct.
Right. but it's just the methodology around it that maybe needs to be polished.
So maybe I can just talk out loud, and you can step on and correct me where I'm wrong and keep me on the straight and narrow. The plan for me to make monetary benefits from
to make dollar bills
basically is, let's say we scale the podcast to 100,000 subscribers, right? And the Instagram socials have gone up, and Instagram is a huge leveraging factor. I think Instagram is more unique than TikTok or Facebook on a global scale, right? You have 100,000 followers and you decide to launch a product or a service. You utilize basically that audience,
that community,
to funnel into your service or product. So let's hypothetically look at Coffee Pump. Coffee Pump grows to 100,000 subscribers. Maybe I do an ebook. Let's say I lose weight, I get in the best shape possible, and I do an ebook for $5 that says working a 9 to 5 and getting in shape. That's one revenue stream that I can basically put out there that doesn't need more effort from me. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, true, I get you.
Because the goal is, at the end of the day, to have revenue streams coming in where your effort is very minimal. So you have one revenue stream over there. Then maybe you have how to be a podcaster coach. You do a full course on it. You spend a lot of money. Masterclass. You put out the masterclass. Maybe charge $500 for it. One or two people will buy, but it's a product over there.
Yeah.
And then you have a third is a consumable, right? So maybe the Coffee Pump energy drink.
Yeah.
Right? That's now more heavily involved and leverages the base of the viewers. And then maybe you have Coffee Pump supplements. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So two of those are passive, where it doesn't matter what people do, or it doesn't matter what you do. Is once you put a product out there, it's just leverage based on the growth of the channel.
Yeah.
And the other two are now more your traditional brick and mortar type businesses, whereas the buy and sell, and this is traditional advertising. What do you think of that?
No, I think it's. I think I've thought about that also.
Yeah.
But where I've noticed it happening is with Alex Jones, right? You know Alex Jones, right?
Yes.
So he sells. Is it health products?
He does.
Like
he does. Yes.
What he sells is so different from his podcast.
Correct. It's complete.
Because he's talking about conspiracy, then suddenly, all right, yeah, I need to sell you some of these products on our website, alexjones.com.
Joe Rogan also used to sell sex toys, right?
For real?
No, not sell sex toys. He used to be promoted by sex toys.
Oh, okay.
Like pocket pussies and stuff like that.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, in his early shows, bro.
Yo.
Like if you get 10%, Jerry, you should put the code, and then he would get the 10%.
That is crazy.
So people have done crazy stuff, right? But one channel I want people to look out for, that I look up to as a podcast platform, is Modern Wisdom. So Chris Williamson.
Chris Williams.
Excellent, right? His conversations are more of, the world has so many mysteries, the podcast should help you at least understand some of these mysteries. And he invites different guests.
And then he shoots it like a movie.
Very cinematic, very good conversations. But his product offerings and his revenue generations are, I think, 2 or 3 fold. So one of them is direct product placements. But direct product placements that are in relation to what he's interested in. So supplements, all right? One of them used to be books, because he reads a lot of books. So it's a book platform like Audible. And then he's eventually got to 3.25 million subscribers. And he's created a product called Nootropic. It's like a Newtonic. It's a nootropic-based drink, which is an energy drink with caffeine, but it's supposed to help mental clarity and focus, right? And now he started selling that, and eventually got to a place where they got more founders, other YouTubers in his community to invest in that product.
Oh, for real? It's doing that well.
And it's now, it's sort of the prime Logan Paul type movement.
Oh, okay.
Where they're leveraging something to do mass market. But for us to get there in Kenya, we need to go beyond Kenya, bro.
Damn, where's that stuff? Someone threw it away. What? There used to be a bottle there.
Yeah.
I don't know where it's gone, man.
A prime bottle?
No, it was Jabba juice. Let me see if it's here.
Jabba juice, that's the Mira juice.
Damn, I think the cleaning lady threw it.
Jabba juice is the Mira juice?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes. So, the owner of Jabba juice was on this podcast.
Yes.
So I was trying to tell him, why don't we create Kisiangani
Jabba
podcast Jabba Juice?
Exactly. And then we tell him, and we tell the subscribers, wakiweka Kisiangani 25 unapata 25%.
Exactly. So I don't know, I don't think it clicked.
It doesn't, and I've struggled with this in Kenya because I've approached different brands. I've approached coffee houses, okay? The only one that sort of bit and supported us is Connect Coffee, and they're working on something.
Yeah, man, shout out to them. I saw even an ad on Eric.
Yeah, exactly. So Eric said, look, I'm a coffee guy as well. Can you connect me? And I'm like, you know what? Connect Coffee was the first place I ever had my meeting with my formal job, my first closure. So there's a bit of history of it, and I know the owners. So we've agreed with Eric that once we come on with Connect Coffee, what the plan is eventually to get discount codes for us. Okay. So an Eotwe discount code, a Coffee Pump discount code. Yeah. Maybe then we get a Kisiangani discount code. Yeah. So whenever someone watches this, coffee is something we all drink, right? It doesn't feel really forced. If they want to support the channel, they buy that product.
Yeah, because you're actually already consuming it there.
Correct.
Because I've seen many of your episodes there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they give us the venue to shoot.
Actually, you've really pushed those guys.
We're trying.
Pay this guy more money.
This is and it's an education perspective where we as creators need to go and approach them and say, guys, listen, you need to have something in place where it's an exchange of we're giving you value by promoting you on our placement. Yeah. It's not forced. It's completely natural, right? But then we need discount codes to monetize, and we don't have companies here that have that placement. Yeah. So I've approached supplement companies as well. Because part of the Coffee Pump logo is two muscular arms shaking each other. Shaking each other's hand over a cup of coffee, right? So the other thing is also getting physically and mentally better. So my natural inclination was to approach supplement companies. None of these guys want to do discount.
They don't want to bite.
They don't want to do anything. They want to do their own podcast. You go ahead.
So, but eventually they'll see it.
Eventually. So that's the long-term vision, is getting it to a place where at least if it can pay for itself, then I'm comfortable. Because right now, everything that I do from Coffee Pump is just out of pocket. But I'm keeping up with it because I see the vision at the end of the tunnel. I see what it can be, the capabilities of scaling it. But being from a traditional Mwindi family where my mzee, for him, it's bottom line. Are you making money or not? There's no here, now, or later. And you're 2 years in already and you're still not making money. So they don't yet get it. And I actually had a bet with him that in 5 years, I'd buy him a Rolex with the earnings of YouTube. Yeah. So I've got 3 years left.
Okay, we need to get that Rolex.
Banas. Jabba Juice. Jabba Juice coffee version.
But I'm actually worried. What happened to my Jabba Juice bottle? So the cleaning lady drank the remaining.
How does it taste?
That's interesting. I'll get you one.
Okay. Does it give you...
it makes you feel tingly over here.
Really?
Like it puts you on. It's actually a stimulant.
So is it from Mira?
Yeah, it's from Mira. So they crush it and make it into
steam.
Yeah, you get. I think it saves you the chewing time.
Okay. So it keeps you awake.
For me, it didn't keep me awake because I stopped drinking alcohol. Not that now I'm drinking loads of Jabba Juice, but I've drank Jabba Juice twice.
Yes.
It's just some sort of. This is why I feel it like
tingling sensation.
Yeah, tingling.
Do you feel like you're more focused
with the Jabba Juice?
With Mira, yeah.
No, but it turns you like you're on like
So Mira is something that's very prevalent in our community. We belong to the Okai Meman community. Originally,
to the
Okai Meman community.
Okai
Meman.
And so is it like what's the religion, binding religion?
So the different religions. Maybe we can start from from way behind. Initially, most of the Indians were all India, and Pakistan was one country.
Yes, and then the British came with a pen.
Exactly, and then they split it up.
There's a name of that guy who actually did that shit, but I've forgotten.
I know who you're talking about, but the name's just not coming to the front. Yeah, so within the context of us, we had originally, our family came from a place called Okapur in Gujarat.
Okapur.
In Gujarat, and we were Hindus. Okay. We were not Muslims. It's a very Gujarati place, but full of traders, full of folks, business-minded. Mostly, you could say traders was the main thing, and the reason they sort of went beyond the confines of India was to look for businesses. And so initially, a lot of the early settlers came in the early 1900s, late 1800s, when the British Army was laying down the rail tracks, and we were part of the colony, so the greater British, how do I say it? There was the business mogul where tea was transported, the railway was being made. If you've watched Ghost in the Darkness, that whole line that was being built and protected by the Indians was the workforce, right? So a lot of people then ended up in East Africa.
Okay.
So our specific family came in the early 1900s, and they came in as traders.
All right. Your great.
This great. Okay. Yeah, what would be great granddad? Yeah. Yeah, great granddad. So he came in, and they were in Mombasa initially, and from Mombasa they realized that Mombasa is quite competitive, because Mombasa was the gateway into East Africa. All the trading happened there. So for you to stand out does not make sense. So they went further and further inland, and they happened to settle in Meru. And Meru is also a transport hub, because different cities converge. Even Nanyuki goes up there, Eldoret.
How do they get to Meru from Mombasa?
Just basically going, and it's word of mouth. Okay. Because there were settlers who sold over there. They're like, there's less business over here, there's more opportunity for you guys to start. And they got their start in transport.
So maybe they came down Nairobi, then Meru.
Yes.
Meru was like the final destination.
Final destination where a lot of our relatives settled. And all of our early relatives...
How was word of mouth spreading those days, you guys?
Letters.
Oh, okay.
They'd write letters. You know,
they're running guys.
You basically read post office. We had post office services.
But before that, there were guys who used to run with letters, remember?
Probably. And smoke signals and stuff like that,
No, you're going way back.
Okay, that's too back. But what ended up happening was word of mouth spread that if you really want to make a lot and comfortable living, Africa is the place for you, because the service...
Africa then start a podcast.
Eventually, you see, that was the Bible we were following.
I'm kidding.
Podcast has landed over here. So the traders essentially came in, and they used their skills that they'd learned in India, and those skills could be anywhere from basic accounting to seamstresses. How many chutis do you know that are Indian tailors? Right?
Not many.
Actually, there are quite a few.
Oh, there are?
There are quite a few that settled over here.
Oh, okay.
What do you call the cobblers? The shoe guys, right?
Yeah.
A lot of those folks came in, but what they realized is the products are good, but they need places to deliver them. And so they had to go to transport hubs, and there had to be transport companies that ended up forming due to this demand from the Indian community. And eventually, some of my uncles got together, bought a truck.
In Meru now?
In Meru.
Okay.
And this is now towards, I'd say, post-World War II.
Oh, all right.
Very, like 1940s, 1950s, bought one truck and started delivering from Meru to different places. And basically ended up taking different crops, tea, coffee here, so on and so forth, engine parts, services, and they grew from that industry, and Meru sort of became a hub. That's why there's a huge community of Wahindis in Meru. Our particular side, our granddad, my granddad, ended up now going to Garissa.
Okay.
So he settled in Garissa, and he opened up a convenience store, which was being supplied from Nairobi and Meru. And at that time, there was a British Army post over there, Garissa. This is now, I'm talking probably before our independence.
Where did he get the balls to go to Garissa, bro?
That's what I was wondering. There was no light at that time. If you wanted to make a phone call, it was at the police post where you had to go. And it was a very small community, but there was a huge community of pastoralists where medicine was not prevalent. There was an army, I think there was an army camp at the time over there, and so powdered milk and different sort of products. He had set up a base over there, and that's what ended up building our family from Garissa. And then eventually he opened up a workshop
in Garissa still,
in a convenience store. So he spent his early years, I'd say, so Mzee was born in 1964, and he was born in Nairobi. So before then, that's when Granddad moved.
So the religion?
Yes. So now the religion aspect. What happened was, in Mombasa, there were a lot of Muslims.
And
so that conversion happened, basically, the interconnection, where a lot of Hindus became Muslims. But even from the Pakistani split, a lot of folks that came in here also came in via sea. There were a lot of Muslims that mixed and had a melting pot in Mombasa. And that's why, if you notice, Swahili even has very similar words to...
With Arabic, right?
With Arabic and even Indian language.
Oh, right.
So Hindi, we call a car gari. What's gari in Kiswahili is?
Oh, okay.
Car, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of mix and matching of
even
words.
chapati, we call it chapati.
Chapati, exactly. Roti, chapati, same thing. So Mombasa was the melting hub for all these cultures, and that's how a lot of intermarrying happened. between Indians, between Marabus, between Africans, between Wazungus, and all sort of that moved forward. And different pockets settled in different places.
What do you think about these old school guys like your granddad moving to Garissa? You think they were built different from us guys, right? I feel like we are very... sometimes I talk about about this. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no worries.
Sometimes I talk about it with a friend of mine. So I ask him, do you think we are soft men?
We are. We're soft men, bro. We're so soft compared to them. I mean, there was no fucking Google Maps at that time.
Yeah.
Jama was like, I'm going Garissa because of someone telling him something. And I believe the way the story came out was in our family and the folks that also moved in from India here, they were also part of the British Army in terms of the effort to lay the railway.
Okay.
And they were trained in how to use weapons. And so my grandfather and his father before him were also involved in taxidermy.
All right.
Which is basically shooting of animals and then stuffing them and then selling them. So even for elephant hunting and so on and so forth, early days they were very...
They used to stuff elephants?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Bruh.
Yeah, so very heavily involved in that.
Okay.
And they had principles of poaching. Obviously now poaching is illegal.
Yeah.
But at that time, for example, you had a what do you call a group of lions? A pride of lions, and there's young cubs are being killed by a much elder lion, and so the next generation doesn't survive. So in that instance, what they would do is they would get someone to come in and hunt the older lions so that the younger ones could do so.
Right.
And
so they don't need to fight.
These were within conservancies as well.
Okay.
And so that's how they started making a lot of their marks. And so in Garissa, he was told that there are a lot of people suffering from stray elephants. Mm-hmm. And so he ended up going to Garissa on that whim, I believe. Just trying to, and this is again by reputation, if you guys need help with an animal, there's these guys who can come and hunt them and sort them out for you, and then they sell the parts. This was now 1940s, 1950s.
Oh, okay.
I think that's how he eventually ended up settling now in Garissa. But then when he got there, he realized, okay, beyond the taxidermy, there's no convenience store in Garissa.
Yeah.
There's no transport hub in Garissa. There's no medicine in Garissa. And I believe his name is also imprinted in one of the early hospitals over there. It's now changed quite significantly.
What's his name?
Abdul Ghani Tar Mohammed.
Huh?
Abdul Ghani Tar Mohammed.
Okay, shout out to Abdul.
I'll send you a picture of him. He was he was known as Babu G.
Oh, Babu G.
Babu G. So granddad was sportsman, hunter, like just tough guys.
So did he live out his life in Garissa?
Yeah, so he's actually his early days, in early marriage days specifically, he stayed over there when he was newly married. And I found out about this as well. There was the person I got my name from was my dad's younger brother.
Okay. Your uncle.
His name was Sajid, but he passed away in Garissa.
Oh.
And hence I got that name. And that's one of the reasons they moved away from Garissa at that time, was to be closer to the city, to be closer to technology and medical and hospitals. What ended up happening was, so Sajid was born, and my grandmother went to visit my granddad and just spend a few months with him, because he would basically spend 3-4 months, come to Nairobi for a couple of weeks, and then go back.
Oh, the family was here?
The family was here.
Okay.
They used to stay in Nairobi West at the time.
Oh, right.
This is when they now moved from Meru.
Mm-hmm.
They settled in Nairobi West. So one of the trips, when Sajid was born, I think he was maybe 3-4 months old, he got malaria, and there was no doctor, there was nothing over there, and he passed away. And you can imagine that was a big shock to my grandmother, the family. And the decision was made that, look, you've done well enough, let's just take that money, come to Nairobi and try and figure out what we can do.
Oh.
And so Kirinyaga Road, where all those garages were, essentially they started over there. Then
so he moved
back. He moved back because obviously loss of a son at that time was quite devastating. And dad and them were quite young. Their schooling was over here. Mzee went to Jamhuri.
Okay.
Uncle went to Jamhuri as well. And they decided, it's better just to have everyone close by, because in our culture, there's an expression, when you punch someone, you don't want to punch with an open hand. We're closed hands. So that means all fingers are together, right? Yeah. It hits harder. So that means a family is united and much stronger when everyone's together.
Yeah, true.
And so we go by those principles. And so they came here, and they had a lot of success early on with businesses.
So they said they opened a shop in Kirinyaga Road?
Kirinyaga Road. They opened up in, it was, Baba Dogo Road?
Yes.
At the time, there was Thika Highway.
Yes.
There's the huge blue hotel on the left side.
Now?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's there anymore, but where the Naivas is. So as you're coming down, let's say you go past Utali Hotel, you keep going straight.
Yes.
Then there's the slip road that takes you to Babadogo. You go past that. Then on the left, there's another slip road where you want to use to get to Garden City. On the left over there used to be a hotel. It was blue in color. I'm not sure if you guys can remember that. Mzee and them initially bought a place over there and started doing now parts. And these second-hand parts. And they did exceptionally well. All right. Now, grandfather at the time, he basically, because he's like, I've worked and I enjoy playing sports. He was a cricketer, he was a shooter, he was a fisherman. He said, the boys, when they get to age, let them sort of take over and take this business and take it to another level. And there were several businesses at the time as well. I know I'm going all over the place.
No,
I'm
it's
just
all right.
giving you the family history. There was Gems and Jewels in town. Gems and Jewels used to be where 20th century IMAX is.
Yes.
At the bottom, that was a family business. They did quite well at the time.
So who's running that branch?
So my granddad's brother.
Okay.
When my granddad came back, he got into it. Molasses in Mombasa. There was a big business they had. That was part of it. There was, what else? They had several businesses that they invested in.
Plus what was going on in Babadogo?
Babadogo, so properties were bought over there. But actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Babadogo actually came much later.
All right.
That was during Dad's time. So as Waindis do, they were not the traditional so I like sort of categorizing them. There's the Kachis, Shahs, and Patels who are more industrialists. Again, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but if you look at Chandari is a certain type of Hindu culturally. If you look at Bidco, is a certain type. They're all industrialists, like Matchmasters is an Indian.
Yeah.
Our version was buying and selling. We buy goods, we put a profit, we put a markup, and we sell it for a profit.
All right.
That's how they were.
Traders, more or less.
Traders, more or less. And so everything they got involved in was more so towards trade. But with Waindi culture as well, one thing that's pretty adamant is people fight over money, especially brothers. And what ended up happening was they kosana between the brothers.
Your granddad and his bro.
Yeah. And they ended up basically kosanaing, and money was lost, and granddad had to start from scratch. And that time, by that time, Mzee and them were in their late teens.
All right.
And so they had to start fending for themselves. Dad wanted to be a pilot, but there was no money now to go to piloting school. He had done his PPL, so all of a sudden he's starting from scratch. Right?
Damn.
So there was political tension involved. What I can say is, if granddad and them had actually gone and done things and there was no politics within the family, I wouldn't have to do a podcast.
You would be one of those...
Genuinely, because they were involved in such businesses at that time. They were so politically connected.
Yeah.
Molasses, they had built huge tanks in Mombasa. And they were involved with political figures that are so powerful today, right? But because of politics and because of cutting corners and spite, things changed. At my granddad's house, there were Bollywood stars that would come.
All right, use that over.
Yeah, so
OG.
If you guys know General Mathenge, where Millennium Academy was, the school, and right next to it there's a temple. Those were two of our houses. I mean, I grew up
Upper Forest Road.
I see General Mathenge. General Mathenge is, how do I describe it? It's okay. So you go past the Oval, you go past Westgate, you keep going straight to the roundabout.
Yeah.
You go past that roundabout where Furusato is, that Japanese restaurant. Yes. And then you take the behind road.
Okay.
That's General Mathenge. That's stretch over there.
Because I've seen Millennium
Academy.
Yes.
So those were actually my granddad's brother's houses.
Oh, okay.
And so they had got to a position financially where they were so well off. The stupid decisions, ego, politics within the family, they lost everything.
Both of them. And did it create a rift? Did they mend fences? Because sometimes these rifts follow generations.
It does. And it does so because there's some times where when I'm speaking to my uncle and my dad, and they rekindle to me the stories that they had growing up. And I'm like, you guys dumbasses, if you had just taken money and put it in property and just shut the fuck up, you would be in such a different place. But Dad says it's like trying to grab onto sand.
Yeah.
You can't control what happens with it. The tighter you try to grab onto the past, the more it slips through.
Yeah, true.
Because in the sense that you can't control it. It was mistakes they made, they learned. But one of the biggest, and I don't even think it's just Indian culture. It's every single culture. Guys fight over ploti, lands, this, and there's a meme where it says, when your dad and his brother are fighting over a piece of land, and then you just see some shithole. That's how typically it was. But for us, it got us to a position where financially the family was very well off. Granddad, in fact, not just showing off, but even for me, just having that knowledge, like during the 1980 coup, Dad was telling me they'd gone to UK, and at the time in my granddad's account there was about £350,000.
Damn!
In 1980.
That's a lot of money, man.
A lot of money, yeah. But again, that money even disappeared. He didn't get a hold of it.
Shit.
Because of politics. So you can imagine how financially well off they were, right?
Yeah.
Because they took the time, they built the culture, they built the ecosystem, they built a series of networks, and they had everything going for them. But stupidity, it just... I keep reiterating it because it frustrates me as well. But anyway, it was not my money to spend. Yeah, but they...
No, we'd be spending it now.
Yeah, we'd be spending it now.
You'd have been my billionaire buddy.
Sindio.
Check it, Sajid. What's up, man? How you doing, bro? How are you?
But what it did for me was... So Dad grew up in a place where he was comfortable, but then all of a sudden when things got stripped up from under him, he had to start afresh.
Oh, you're dad now.
Yeah, and through my granddad's contacts, there are folks that helped out my dad to start off and get his first business. And I mean, when he was working, this is in 1980s, 1990s, when he got married, he was earning a salary of 1,500 shillings, which is, again, by maybe it's like 20,000 bob today, 20. But it was...
Where was he working at the time?
Kirinyaga Road.
Your dad now?
Yeah, as a spare boy guy. Just,
okay. How old do you think he was at that time?
18, 19.
Oh, okay. He was young, huh?
Yeah. But before then, mind you, he had traveled. He had gone to Netherlands. He'd
lived a very comfortable life.
He was, because my granddad's brother took him.
Okay.
Because out of all the brothers, he was the guy that was the most serious, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
He had that. I'm not sure what you would call it, but just when you see a bunch of people and you're like, okay, this guy's serious. I can take him serious. And so he was given a lot of exposure. Right, but obviously when everything was taken away from it, the family had to sort of mend for themselves.
Yeah.
And Granddad was getting to the point where I've worked hard, let me enjoy sports, let me enjoy shooting. So he went and built up the shooting sports, which has become quite huge in Kenya right now. I think a lot of people do target shooting. He was part of the Olympic committee.
All right.
So Granddad went heavily into sports and building up the name of cricket and so on and so forth.
But he was also, the goodness is, even if someone comes and steals from you your things, you still have the know-how.
That's the thing. But you see, it's also how much energy do you have in life? You know,
that's the flip side.
If it happens to you in your 20s, you're like, fuck it, let's start again.
Those ones had built a very nice house in Kitengela. I've told this story enough times on this podcast. Maybe I'll tell it again when I come to yours.
No, tell me about it.
No, I'd partnered with a friend of mine, and then we were making very good money. Then he tells me, hey, by the way, there's this land in Kitengela. Are you interested? Me, I was not interested. So he goes ahead and buys it for me.
Really?
Not for me per se, like I was supposed to pay him back.
Yeah, correct.
So by the time my interest, he's the one, he sort of pushed me into it. So I was like, this place is not bad.
Yeah.
So I decided, all right, I'm going to become a realtor. So I took the money I had some money I had saved up. Then I said, building a house. So my plan was, I build this house, then I build more. Those days it wasn't very a common thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because now it's common. So I built the first house. Then in the middle of the build, like when the foundation was getting off the ground, we realized the plans are different because we were trying to build concurrently with my friend.
Correct.
So my plan was built on, my sketch was drawn on his land. You know the way they draw it with chalk?
Yes.
So there was confusion. But you see, he's my friend, so I'm like, we'll just deal with the title deed to Kombele.
Yeah.
So me say I endelea building. So it figured a point is like, you guy, bana, you know that title deed. I'm shortening the story. So like, you know that title deed, must have taken a loan, but the bank have chukwad that title deed. I'm like, what? Because it had my house.
Let me tell you something. When it comes to money, there's no friends, there's no family.
That's what I learned.
This, and again, you learn from experience, right? And that's the best teacher, is just doing and getting slapped in the face and then realizing, by the way,
So I lost that digs.
Fucking hell.
You guys spent about a year trying to chase it. I became thin, eh? Because remember, I'd used like all my dollar bills. So instead of working, I now focus on, hey, how am I getting back my house?
Okay.
So my dad told me, yo, man, you'll build many houses. So either you'll spend your life chasing this one house or just start again.
Yeah.
So it was a painful thing, but I was young enough to start again. You guys right now would be a freaking realtor, bruh.
I'm sorry for that, though, bro.
Huh?
I'm sorry for that. That's but guess what? It gives you calluses, right? It teaches you how to sort of survive this vicious world.
Yeah. But anyway, so my point is, yes, if you have time, you can rebuild.
Yeah, you can. I mean, that's what Mzee did for the most part.
You're saying your granddad went into the sports shooting and stuff.
So, if you guys have ever been to Kenya Rifle Regiment Sailing Club, Langata, you'll see his picture over there.
Oh, damn, I have to go there and see it.
Yeah, so big into shooting, big into promoting the sport. He represented Kenya. He went to Bisley, full bow shooting. He was very, very talented at that. Kenya, he played for the Kenya team very early on. He sat on committees. He played for different sports club. He used to love going to the casino, by the way. I remember as a kid going with him to the casino, and that's the first time I learned that in casino they give you free food as long as you gamble.
Yeah, and beer too.
So Friday nights, my grandma and granddad would take me and they'd sneak me into Mayfair Casino. Typically, you're not allowed to bring in kids, but because they knew him so well.
Yeah.
So he was at that point where he just wanted to enjoy his life, and he had a very contagious laugh, full of life. The guy was like 6 foot something, quite tall, and I just remember positive memories from him. But then on the opposite end, I just remember my dad like being aggressive, going, and maybe we can even talk about this. I don't think I've said this anywhere, but he wanted to explore markets which were untapped at the time. And one of them was second-hand spare parts, because we used to get them from Japan, but not that frequently. So what would happen is folks would... I'm not sure what the exact location was, but Mzee was one of the first people that ended up going to Japan, and he spent 6 months over there, going to all the large Toyota warehouses with spare parts. And they would literally... he went with one of his drivers, who I think it was Kamau. This is like Jama from Meru as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was Kamau. Who was it? There was someone who went with Mzee. But
Mutiso.
I'm forgetting because he was... I think when I was 3-4, he started working with us. And Dad really liked him. So 6 months, both of them went.
And here you have to cut your own cars.
Yeah, exactly. So they went... They had contacts over there who helped them. They cut their own cars. They loaded them up in containers and they started shipping stuff out to Nairobi.
Yeah.
And they opened up the Japanese market. So they were one of the first folks to do it. And so where that Blue Hotel is, they had a large yard full of second-hand parts for Suzuki, for Toyotas, and that was predominantly most of the cars over here. So that got them to a place where they rebuilt whatever was lost.
Yeah.
And they became one of the biggest... second-hand spare parts. Abdul Ghani spare. I think it was Abdul Ghani Transporters and spare parts. Something of the sort. Very early.
Yeah,
on.
man. Shout out to your dad, man.
But then what happened was Dubai market opened. Then a lot of people started doing it, and then Somalis got involved in the business, and they started bringing in stuff that was not declared. So Mzee and them are selling stuff that has VAT included in them, and the market is cheaper. So that whole market got killed now, because you can literally log in today and import your own parts.
No, it's gotten that sophisticated now.
Yeah, it's gotten very sophisticated.
And you can bring it in tax-free through Eldoret.
Bro, you can exactly. So ultimately, what it taught Mzee was how to live and thrive on his own. But one thing that it solidified with him is that your sons and the father need to be aligned on the vision. There is no point in our history where we want me, my brother, and my dad cosigning over money. What's yours is mine. Ours is we collectively share everything. Okay. You see, the biggest disadvantage I feel is when you have a family that has 3 brothers. That means 3 different houses, 3 separate rents, 3 different expenses, 3 different incomes as well. Right. So everyone is out on their own.
Yeah.
But if you have one big house, right, you have 3 different income streams coming in. It's one expense.
Yeah.
So all of you are able to split and support each other on that cost.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the backdrop in which I've grown up. is family first. The only people I can count on at the end of the day is my dad and my brother.
Yeah.
Right? So whatever we do, whatever decisions we make, we put our heads down together, even though we're in completely different fields. My brother's dealing with ammunition and weapons, all right? My dad is semi-retired right now. I'm dealing in tech. We ultimately pull our own resources together. Any major decisions we make as a family has to be approved by me and my dad, and my brother has to second one of us. It has to come from that place.
So just to understand the way it works.
Yeah.
So everyone is working somewhere.
Yeah.
All right. If at all you're in different fields.
Yes.
And then you make X amount of money at the end of the month.
Yes.
So you pull it.
No, so what happens is, let's say, a certain percentage we give to the family. All right.
Okay.
So
who sets the percentage?
We discuss what can we do. This is how much you're earning. This is what we want to do. This is what we want to do. House bills need to be paid. I'll step in and give in this month. I've done extra sales. I've got enough commission.
Okay.
We want to travel somewhere. Let's do budgeting. This one is what will pull. This one what will pull. This one what will pull. We've got large expenses coming up, large family events coming up, large obligations.
So it's an ongoing
discussion
thing.
Yeah. So where I fall short, my brother will step up. Well, but now what's happened is slowly the mantle has sort of fallen onto me as now the eldest in the house.
Okay.
To sort of pave the direction, right? Because dad's taken a back foot, in the sense that he's getting older. And same principle. But what I'll say is, my dad still has that itch to do something, and like he's
just don't want to sit idle.
Yeah, he doesn't want to sit idle. He's got that itch because he's always been on the go. He's always been very business savvy minded. And you see, in life there's ebbs and flows. We've had ups, we've had downs. We've had several ups, several downs, and Mzee is recovering from that as well. But what we're trying to tell him is, imagine recovering on your own when your sons are not there. But now you've got me, you've got my brother, you've got my sister. We're all collectively supporting each other.
Yeah.
Granted, my sister is now a part of, she's got her own family, she's in the UK. But we still have that vision that us kids support each other. We want to make that dream come true. And that's why, in a way, I'm sort of now trying to see what I can do. What's my new business? What's my venture? Is it the podcast?
That is why that's why they think of even what you're spending your time doing.
Correct. Yeah, because it affects the grander scale of family. And I wouldn't have it any other way. You know, the one question I get asked is, oh, what about mamas and this and that? And, you know, places.
Which mamas?
Like, you know, in the sense that, like, you're staying with a family, if you have mamas over and this and that. You know, that's the question I keep getting asked at. But let's take that aside. If you look at it from a business perspective, as an entity with with a foundation that is strong, don't you agree that works when you're together, when you're collectively?
No, it does. Together, it does. And the reason I'm asking you questions about it is we don't do that much in our culture. Okay, maybe I can speak for my family. We're not very strong in that regard. We have some little corporations here and there. Like for us, we have some money left over from my mom's life. You know, the assets that she put together. So that's what we are managing together.
Yes.
But it's not, apart from that, there's no super conscious effort of we're doing this together. How are we going to... It's as if we are sort of tied at the hip because of this lady's and my dad's things. Yeah. So we are forced to do it. But I admire the way, you know, Indians, Asians, that culture, the way you guys do a thing together. Like I remember my friends would tell me how some guys would move to Kenya from India. A family moves in, and then they get a one apartment to live in. All the couple of families. Yeah. Then they buy one car.
Correct.
All right. They buy a Maruti. These are these two small Marutis.
Yes.
It looks like a van, but it's a tiny one.
Yes.
So they use that good work.
Yes.
So meanwhile, the other guys, each person is driving out with their own. So in like
that's how
30 years.
Yes. Yes.
In like 30 years. These two people will reach a very different ending.
That's how you have Bidco. That's how you have Chandaria. That's how you have Matchmasters. It starts off with sacrifices because you're in a very confined space with all the people. You don't have your freedom to move. You don't have your independence. But strength and unity, that's what's built the largest industries in Kenya. If you look at the largest manufacturing plants here, they all belong to communities that are led by Indians who stood together. Eventually, when the brothers get enough money, then they get separate houses, then they get this. That's when
they start enjoying eventually. Yeah. In fact, I feel like maybe the third generation are the ones who start really enjoying, right?
Correct. But you see, you have to set it up from somewhere. And I'm at that position of comfort knowing that my brother and my dad have my back, right? Whatever happens, come rain, sunshine, everything's going to shit. The person that I can count on are those two, right? My family. Friends, yes, I can have best friends, but best friends have their own families to worry about. They have their own issues. But those people in that house are the people that will not abandon me. And so I urge people to consider the fact that if you've got brothers that you get along with, if you've got you have a very healthy relationship with your father and your parents, try and pool everything together, because we live in times where things are so expensive. COVID, how many jobs did COVID kill?
Yeah.
Right? So imagine if you are a brother, one of three brothers, and in COVID you lost your job, but then guess what? You have to fend for yourself, right? But if you're three people together and you can support each other's downfalls, I mean, so you even share each other's wins.
True.
And it builds a unity that blood is genuinely thicker than water.
Yeah.
And it's these type of relationships that showcase that.
I was reading, I don't know what I came across, some information about the Rothschilds.
Yes.
The way they'd get this kid, then they send him to Europe
to go and build.
Someone else is sent to some other place to go and build that financial network.
Yes, it's family, because what happens is the family, nothing can beat it as long as that bond is there. Another example for Indians in America is these motels. I'm not sure if folks are aware, but one of the largest hotel network chains are owned, I think 80% by Indians in the US. Do you know why? How it started off? So motels initially, what the Indians realized is, when we buy a motel, we can actually bring our family to stay over there.
Okay.
So we're saving on rent. And our family can run the hotel, so we don't need to pay staff. So what ended up happening was their cost per night became significantly cheaper than other motels who would outsource the employees.
Oh, right.
And then when our cousin comes for university, he can stay with us as well and support.
Yeah.
And we can pay him cash. We don't need to pay him officially. And over time, the Patels and all the Waindis started acquiring more and more motels. And throughout the years, since the 80s, 90s, that propelled them to now own large chains like Hilton's and Marriott's. And if you look at it, it's actually a study done. Majority of these chains are owned by these Indians because they stay together. And now, the generations now are multimillionaires.
Yeah.
They own this. So it starts from somewhere, right?
Yeah, true.
And ultimately, the main common denominator is united we stand, divided we fall.
Yeah, true. There's this, are they called the Bora?
Yes.
Have you seen that community they built in Karen?
Karen, exactly.
Damn, man.
You see that?
That place is like another world.
It's a completely different world. And what ends up happening is that's generations of planning, all right? But ultimately, if I start a business today, the biggest customer base for me is my community. All right? In that Bora community, respect to them, whatever they do, they support each other tremendously.
Yeah.
So if you and I were part of that community and I opened up an ice cream shop, my number one customer base is that community based over
guys,
there. I don't have to go out fending for people. If I start a podcast, majority of my listeners are already over there.
Yeah.
Whatever business you do, they support. And the Shahs have been successful at doing that. I mean, if you look at Oshwell, if you look at the community benefits they have with the hospitals they build, the schools they build properties where the first preference is people from their community get rent that's subsidized from them. You don't see any other culture doing that. And look where they are right now. They're captains of industries. Why can't we start changing our mindset into doing this? It is also, I don't know why it's like that, where we want to be the number one doing thing, we want to achieve this on our own.
You want to show someone.
I guarantee you the success you have in earning that money and spending it is tenfold when you spend it with the people you love.
Yeah, true.
You know, when I mean, you can have a private jet that you fly to Dubai, but if it's just you by your own, lonesome, it's not the same.
Yeah,
right?
they're not chicks with you.
Exactly.
I'm kidding. No, but that's really, really dope info, man. I think I'll talk to my bros, Maze, with you. What? Like, we need to take it more serious. Have you read about how the Japanese plan like 200 years ahead?
Exactly. Significantly, like considering the way the Japanese. But one thing, they have not planned their population well. Have you seen the population
aging?
Bro, they're not having sex.
Or an article where they're inviting black guys, you guys.
Yeah, I swear.
Come through with their more tombos. We would like some Baraka people to come through.
You will see that stuff over there. I think that's the only thing that will save. We take one community from Kenya, we throw them over there.
But how, if you're living in the same house,
Yeah.
how do you handle conflicts?
Face on.
Because there's going to be conflict, right?
There's always
proximity is...
Here's the thing. As a rule of thumb, we will fight. By the end of it, we say we love each other. All right? And what do we fight about? It's never about money. Okay? Money is neither here nor there. What we fight about is, okay, when are you getting married? When are you settling down? We want grandkids. That's the fight with the parents right now. Money decisions, you see, this is the way it works. The hierarchy usually works is what dad used to say is right.
Yeah.
Okay? And the sons will follow. That's out of respect. But now when the son comes of age, me and dad get to make a decision. What's right?
You get consulted.
You get consulted. All right? If I disagree and the younger brother disagrees, the family disagrees, we do not move forward. That's how it is.
Okay.
It's diplomacy. It's diplomacy, it's finance. But the thing is, we're all part of the same party. And whatever agenda and decision we make, how does it benefit the family? Does it put us at a risk of exposure?
How does it benefit the family?
Exactly. Think of it that way. Ultimately, all decisions you're making is to propel us out of poverty, is to propel us to better.
That's the common goal.
Better health, better lives. The decision you're making, does it take away from the family, or does it put into the family?
Yeah.
Then let's decide from there. If both decisions have a chance of giving to the family back tenfold, we then have to decide, okay, which way are we going?
Yeah.
All right. And if it doesn't pan out, that's fine. We're there to share the risk, and we're there to pick ourselves up and then move forward.
I think the vision makes the staying together bearable.
Yeah. So the vision bearer has now changed, and I can comfortably say that, right? Because dad's still there. He's still the head of the family. But the vision bearer has now sort of fallen onto me. Because there's a place I want to take this family to. There is goals I want to achieve. There's financial independence levels I want to get to. And Mzee might not see eye to eye on that.
Okay.
But the thing is, it's also coming from a place of years of experience and wisdom. Because
So do you balance that with what you know and what he knows?
He keeps me on the straight and narrow. Okay? But there's some things we genuinely disagree on. But he lets me be.
Okay.
And what we agree is, give me enough time to prove you wrong. Give me that leeway. Give me the benefit of doubt. YouTube is the thing. He doesn't believe in the vision of YouTube. He understands it. It's good for the... He's like... To me, he's looking at it as a hobby. It's like going to the gym.
Yeah.
Let him do it. He's spending his own money. He's building this. Right? The person that sees the vision at the end of it is my younger brother. Right? But it's my job to convince my dad that I'm right. Because look at it from his perspective. Who the fuck does he know in his circles that's done YouTube or stuff online that's made millions?
Yeah.
Right? If you're making thousands, to him, that's waste of time. You have 24 hours in a day. If you're going to spend the 24 hours in a day doing something, you have to do something that generates you money. And the way I ask people to calculate this is, if someone were to come to you to consult, what would your hourly rate be? All right? And then based on that, what you value yourself, if you can't get the same amount of returns, then you know your business is not worth it.
Yeah.
But even that metric, on a side note, applies to different things as well. It's like waiting in line at the airport. People will wait 1-2 hours in line. I'd rather pay 5K, bribe a guy, and get to the front of the line because your 2 hours have just been wasted over there. So as a consultant, if you're charging people $200 an hour, are you telling me you can't afford 5K? I mean, that's a separate.
That's why sometimes I'm on the expressway. I'm like, how come these guys are here? Yeah. How come they're there? Like, you don't think you're gonna be...
Your timing, expressways has been the biggest lifesaver for me because I work in Karen, bro. So from Westie, I usually panda huko karibu the mall. I get off Southern Bypass, Capital Center. I ingia Langata Road.
Oh, right.
And then Karen.
Oh, you loop.
15-20 minutes. I'm spending maybe 237 bob going. Coming, I usually come through Bagathi because there's no traffic. Right? But if me spending 1,000 bob extra a week saves me that time, come on. Come on, guys. At the end of it, you sort of have to think about it. Yeah. But yeah, so back to the context of family. I think the vision now I have is I want to get to a place where if I ever were to get houses, I would like multiple houses together. One is for dad, one is for my brother, one is for us in the same compound. right? The vision is obviously to extend it and have friends as well stay with us. A community of the people that I hold closest to. Right? What businesses are we going to do that? Podcast is not going to give that. So in Kenya, the way you can scale a business, in Kenya, the way you can generate certain amounts of revenue is you're involved in politics and you have a back door. Right? That could help you significantly.
Yeah.
But then that's morally challenging.
Yeah, true. Yes. Yeah, you have to do some deals.
You could either reach the stars or you could be 6 feet underground. There's a big risk with that.
Yeah.
The second is mass market production. Niche products don't work in Kenya because there is no niche market. It's too small. The spending power is not there. You have to apply to the broader 40 to 50 million people over there that are below or close to the poverty line. You have to make something that can genuinely appeal to the mass market. When people say we're going to open up a niche store, the example I use is of Netflix, because I work in the tech space, right? Netflix has not expanded significantly and has shut down operations over here purely because of the market over here. How many people do you know have Netflix accounts?
Yeah.
And within Nairobi, maybe, yes. But if you go
Did they shut down the operations here?
I heard they're curbing down the production stuff.
Oh, they're scaling down.
They're scaling down. They're scaling down heavily. But also from a technology perspective, they've invested less in infrastructure because a lot of Kenyans use free things, 1 to 3 movies, they stream, torrents, this and that. That's just one business in the tech space. Right? If I were to go and make a luxury shoe, what's my potential of having 1 million customers in Kenya?
Yeah.
Very rare. But if I were to make a food that has high protein and is cheap and students and kids can have it as they're growing up, all of a sudden that changes the dynamics of who my market element is.
Yeah.
So that's another way. The third business model I'm looking at is stretching the social capital of the podcast to go beyond East Africa and tap into the revenue sources of the first world economies. So that means me as a billboard, I need to start going and placing myself in highways that tether myself to economies which are much better. So that means if I travel, I go and do podcasts in America, in here, in there.
With the people there.
With the people there. So that can eventually give you enough traffic and CPMs that can sustain your podcast that way, but also help you launch a product that can appeal to the mass market. And these are very niche products. In UK, if you launch a hoodie, that's like £70, but people believe in you, they'll buy it. In Kenya, how many people will buy a 7,000 bob hoodie, bro?
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, true.
So those are sort of what I'm looking at. Mzee is looking at his own sides of businesses. My brother's looking at his own sides of businesses. And we're trying to see where it goes. And this is aside from the day job I have, which is, again, just a completely different thing. Yeah.
So, let's talk about that a little. What do you do during the day on average?
Maybe let me have a sip before.
No, you don't sip. Even me, let me have a sip, man.
So my day job, I work in sales. I'm the sales director of a data center company. Now, are you aware of data centers, or should I just give you the rundown of
you can give me a basic.
Okay.
I'm aware, but you can give me a rundown. Yeah.
So maybe I'll give you a story as to how the company started. Now, if you look at Mombasa, I've mentioned, is the gateway hub for commodities.
Yeah.
Most of the commodities that land in East Africa first land in Mombasa, and then they're transported via different mechanisms to Greater East Africa. So stuff from China, goods from Dubai, so on and so forth. That's how it typically works, and most of the people are aware of that. What people don't understand is also from the data perspective and internet perspective, most of the delivery mechanisms first land in Mombasa and then work their way inwards.
Yeah.
Okay? So all the undersea cables, which are large-scale fibers that deliver internet and content from different places around the world, all set place in Mombasa first.
So is it like a very big wire?
Yeah, the thing is, literally. So you have different cores in fiber. Imagine it on steroids, much larger, and the length to distribute it is further. Because fiber usually it's via light. Yeah. So there's power feed equipment that goes into something called single line termination equipment.
Okay.
That basically transports data from point A to point B. And the light in between, the power in between is how far it can go. So fiber in a small scale, your basic USB cables, where in fact the USB cable is one of the best way to explain. Yeah. There's a hard disk over here and there's a laptop over there.
Yeah.
So what cables do is basically they take content from the hard disk and transport it to the end source, which is the laptop. So undersea cables all first land in Mombasa. But people are like, oh, but Sajid, there's a coast in Tanzania, Dar es Salaam. To our advantage, Dar es Salaam is still a mess. Tanzania is still a mess economy-wise. Geopolitics, its ease of business was quite difficult. It's changing, but initially Mombasa in Kenya was seen as the capital
at the time
of East Africa.
Yeah.
So most of the cables landed in East Africa.
Who owns the cable?
Different operators.
Okay.
They're usually consortium members. So we have several undersea cables. There's one called Lion 2. Lion 2 stands for Lower India Ocean Network, which belongs to the Indian Ocean islands. So Mauritius, Madagascar, those governments and the telecoms that run the main operations over there. So Mauritius Telecom all get together and invest in a cable to come to Mombasa to pick up the traffic. There's something called EASY, which stands for East Africa Submarine System, which is a consortium of different telcos based in Kenya. Telecom Kenya, Safaricom, I believe maybe Airtel. So they all get together and build an undersea cable. Then there's DARE, which is Djibouti Africa Regional Express, which is a cable that goes from Djibouti and then comes to Mombasa. There's CECOM, which is owned by CECOM, which basically goes all the way from the north of Africa. It goes all the way to Marseille in Europe, which is an interconnection point of data, and then comes all across East Africa. And there's 2 Africa, which is by Meta and different telcos. But ultimately, all these cables, what they're doing is transporting content. The WhatsApp messages that you have, the Instagram pictures that you have, the bank accounts, whether you store them here or internationally.
Or when you swipe your card.
Yeah, exactly. So traditionally what would happen in Kenya is when you would go on your Facebook in 2008 and try and load a picture of someone, remember it would take very long to load. That's because from whatever device you're using, it would go via fiber to the coast in Mombasa, go via one of these undersea cables, and try and find the closest server where that image is stored, which was either in Europe or in America. So what would end up happening is it would take 20 seconds to load an image, because if you think about it, it's going all the way, and finding it and then delivering it back to you. Now, the question we had when we started this company was, why should the internet experience be any different in America than it is in Mombasa? Because content is content. What we need is just to bring the content to sit closer in the country. So they have to sit in what we call data centers, and that's what we build. Now, the challenge with building data centers typically is most of them were owned by operators like Safaricom and Telecom Kenya. And people like Meta, Microsoft, they prefer what you call neutral data centers. Which means if I come and put my server inside, there's Safaricom who owns the building, right? So let's say traditionally Safaricom would own a data center. If I wanted to access services for Microsoft, I would have to pay Safaricom a markup because Safaricom owns the building. So in order to talk to anyone inside the building, I have to pay Safaricom first. So if I'm a business, right, and I'm a Microsoft or I'm a M-Pesa competitor, why would I host my services with Safaricom? Because the landlord competing with the tenant. In the West, neutral data centers are people that just focus on the power and physical infrastructure. Our job is to ensure that the data center never loses power. So you have a data center. My job is to make sure generators are always there, UPSs are always there. I've got different sources of power. I have cooling. The other job is to basically now sell that space and build the ecosystem. So what we decided to do was build that data center in Mombasa. Then go and talk to the undersea cables and tell them, look, you're currently hosted with people like Telecom Kenya and Safaricom, who when people want to buy your capacity, they charge them a markup. So it's so expensive. Why don't you come to us? Put your cables there. We don't charge anything. You deal directly with the customer. So the undersea cables first came. Then we went and talked to all the ISPs in the region and told them, you guys are coming to the data center to talk to the undersea cable, and Safaricom is charging you a middleman fee. Come to our data center, no middleman fee. Just take space. And so they came. So all of a sudden,
it's cheaper for them.
It's cheaper for them. So what I do is I sell physical space. Servers typically come in different sizes. When you're in a connectivity business or a cloud business, there's maybe, we call them U's. So there's a server rack, and then there's U's. So if you take 3 U's, I charge you a certain amount. If you take 4 U's, I charge you a certain amount. So think of me as a mall. Depending on how big space you want in my mall, I'll charge you rent. And that's all I'm doing. I'm selling real estate. But where I'm benefiting the consumers is I'll fit a theater inside there. The theater can be Facebook. I'll fit a restaurant over there. The restaurant can be Visa.
Okay.
You as a customer, if you want to go to a bank, you've got maybe KCB now, you've got Visa, you've got Facebook now, you can go and do stuff. So what I'm trying to do is create an ecosystem of neutral parties, right? If I was Safaricom, what would happen is Safaricom would tell you to open up a theater and then open up a theater in the same building. So it's the landlord competing with the tenant.
Okay.
So what we wanted to do essentially was create this ecosystem of these different parties that can freely talk to each other. And my job is just to get them to pay rent for the space they take. Because I'm selling them power, I'm selling them security, I'm selling them cooling. So I bundle it into a rental package based on how much space they take. All of a sudden what happens is these undersea cables start getting a lot more business. Because now everyone can talk to them directly. No one is going through Safaricom to buy the capacity anymore. No one is going through Ccom. No one is going through Telcom. You have small internet providers from Syokimau or VGGNet, Syokinet, who all of a sudden can talk to the source of the internet without having
resell.
to buy and resell.
Oh, that's how it works.
That's how
with
it works.
some of these guys.
Yeah, because what we're doing is content is distributed around the world. An ISP just picks up that content and sells it to you.
Yeah.
And how quick you want that capacity depends on the package you pay. 4 MB, 8 MB, do you want it dedicated, do you want it shared, so on and so forth. But they have to pick the content up from somewhere. That content they were picking up from Telecom Kenya, Telecom would charge them 1,000% markup. So it wouldn't make sense for them to do business, because when Telecom Kenya comes to your place, how can I start an ISP business when they're controlling everything?
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, when that focus now shifts to a neutral environment like iColo, I can start an ISP business today, go and talk directly to Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, Akamai, all these content hubs which have everything from Pornhub to Netflix and so on and so forth. So I can start an ISP, go talk to the source, and then basically deliver it back to you as a customer.
Yo.
And so my job is twofold: is to A, sell space. So I'm technically selling IT real estate. And the second is to curate an ecosystem. Okay? Because if you come to my data center, if you're a bank, I want to make sure you have access to Visa, you have MasterCard, PesaLink, IPSL, all these payment switches, so that when your customer wants to send money from bank to any of these, to a phone, to a device, it's instant because you're interconnected in the same place. You as a bank don't need to independently go and connect to South America or Europe or this to connect to these Visa, MasterCard caches. Everything is in the data center. If you're an ISP and your consumers love Netflix, love Google, YouTube, streaming content, I don't want you to have to pay huge amounts just to get access to that content. Come to the data center and speak to them directly. And that's why there's some ISPs, when you go on Google and you watch YouTube, they still do the traditional model of reselling Safaricom services. So what happens is Safaricom gives it to them and they give it to you. So when you load a 4K video, it takes long.
Okay.
But there's some ISPs, they load instantly.
Yeah.
It's because they're connected to the source.
I don't know if you can mention brands, but there is fiber. You know fiber?
Yes, JTL guys, yeah.
How come theirs is always faster?
Because they're connected directly to the source. I mean, what I'll say is our data center in Mombasa, it's called Mombasa 1, and this is public information. You can go on PeeringDB and look at all the networks. Our data center has close to 100 plus ISPs connected.
Is fiber one of them?
Fiber is one of them, all right? We have regional ISPs, we have several ISPs. But you see the way JTL, one thing is I use JTL fiber at home as well, and those services are excellent. Because I know at the back end, they're actually peering directly in Mombasa with the Googles of the world, with the Metas of the world. They've got resilient fiber built in and out of Nairobi. So they're one of my top providers.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I told you I'm installing fiber here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the place I had in South B, at my place where I upload in South B I had a fiber connection.
Yes.
Because of courtesy of the building.
Yes.
Then I moved out of that place. I went back to my house.
Okay.
I have a house in Kitengela. I'll have you over one of these days. You and Derek.
For sure.
I'm actually thinking of building a studio there, but that's a story for another podcast.
Build and rent it out to us.
So yeah, man. So you guy, at home I use Safaricom, but you guy uploading a podcast.
So Safaricom, I'll tell you its challenges. What I believe are its challenges, but to maybe just to round off what I do as a job. So my job is to go and talk to different people. All right. I'm in charge of this data center and think of it as a mall. I want to make it as attractive as possible. So I need ice cream shops, I need the proverbial shoe shops, banks, gyms, this, that. So in the internet space, who will keep a customer happy? From the fintech space to the content space to the music space, I go talk to all these large entities and sell them space over here.
Okay.
So from your Spotifys to your YouTubes to your Meta, having them have servers in Kenya means you can access them
faster.
And so in the data center, and that's my job, is just to curate the space I sell and sell the space.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So on that point for Safaricom, I think Safaricom is, I think the best way to describe them, and I've said this on so many podcasts, is when you go on the expressway, have you tried calling using Safaricom?
Yes, it's choppy.
It's choppy.
Yeah.
How the fuck does the largest telco, the most profitable telco in East and Central Africa, have no signal on an expressway?
Yeah,
does that make sense? Which
no,
is
it
the
doesn't.
heart, is the main vein that
Yeah,
distributes
true.
economies into the CBD and beyond.
Yeah.
And I think what's happening is the fact that they have M-Pesa has made them very lazy. And the fact that they also have a large market share has got them very lazy. Because I know their systems are overloaded. They've not done enough infrastructure. There's also been a change in leadership, several changes in leadership since this new regime has come in.
Yeah.
So that could also affect projects. They do have the right energy and focus to go to a place, but I think it keeps getting disrupted with new hires. And you guys can look at it. I mean, look at the people that have been hired and left over the past 2-3 years.
Yeah, true.
Several people in leadership have left. So the vision never bears fruit.
Yeah, it keeps getting
And Airtel is
speed
doing
bumps.
Airtel is doing quite well now. I've had their data, their 4G services, 5G services, their telco services. I hear they're improving quite significantly.
I think what Safaricom have, which Airtel don't, is a wider network. Like at our place, they came and put in wires.
Yes.
Before anyone. Like,
Yeah.
and it was deep
Yeah.
in Kitengela.
Yeah.
Like, for you to come and put in the
Exactly.
wires at that time,
So
you have to have thought ahead.
They've done quite. This is Safaricom, right?
Yeah.
They were very aggressive in laying out fiber. They went to different places, but what matters is the upkeep. Because today I'm using 100 megs, tomorrow I'm using 1 gig, and then 10 gigs. As an economy, we're all going online. So the same equipment you had 5-10 years ago does not make sense for you to use it.
All right.
So you need constant upkeep, you need constant upgrades, you need to start. And Safaricom is also benefiting from this whole data center business because they're talking to the source directly. We've bought bigger and bigger cables. Things are much cheaper on the back end. I'm hoping they change things around. But for example, have you ever made a call on the telco and had your phone drop via mobile?
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
Right?
Many times.
Many times.
Or you try maybe buy a bundle or something, and then you have to start doing the thing again.
And that's the thing is when you go to places like UK or you go places like Dubai, what you realize is the telcos over there, the main telcos are so much more advanced in terms of the services they're offering and the quality of services. We don't get exposure to that because it's not really, as much as it's an open market, Safaricom has dominated it significantly. So there are people who only know Safaricom and they base their experience like this is normal. But when you travel and you go to further developed markets, you realized, okay, there's a huge gap.
But our internet speeds are not too bad compared to other countries, right?
Our internet is great.
Huh?
Our internet is great.
In the States, do they have 5G already? I heard we were quite ahead with the 5G rollout stuff here.
Yes and no. It depends on which locations you're looking at. Some locations, there's some locations in states that don't even have fiber, and that's why Starlink is so popular, because there are land masses in Texas where there's no fiber reach and there's open sky, so Starlink is quite popular over
Do you think that's the future? Satellite internet?
It's going to be there. It's always going to be there, and it depends again what industry you're in. So Starlink was meant to disrupt the market over here, and they were quite aggressive in the way they approached it. But fiber and connectivity is so widespread in our main metro cities that I don't think they would ever get to the scale of business JTL does, right? Where Starlink will thrive is open land areas. So maritime industries, for example, shipping vessels that need internet, on air flights, in hotels that are on far off reservations where fiber cannot get to, rural areas, Central Africa. So all those places specifically, Starlink will benefit. And again, I've said this on another podcast, the reason why it's a bit of a challenge in Kenya is if you look at the way internet spreads, for example, right? City A is connected and then City B comes up. So City B, as it evolves, gets connected to City A. And then City C, City D, and that's how fiber typically spreads and internet spreads. However, in Kenya, there's only fiber in City A. City B, C, and D did not get fiber, and some cities still don't have fiber, but the internet growth is still high. Do you know the reason for that? M-Pesa. So M-Pesa basically bypassed your traditional growth mechanisms. Because what would happen is, as an economy grows, you have the traditional brick and mortar stores that come up, and people start getting to banks and still start doing shopping. But in Kenya, Safaricom put a phone in everyone's hand. So all of a sudden, you have a Masai sitting in the Mara. He doesn't have a bank. For Christ's sake, he doesn't have a place to buy clothes. But he has a phone that has his banking institution there. He's paying for school fees. He's paying for any services. He's on WhatsApp. He's on Snapchat. He's on Facebook. And I credit that to Safaricom because they took the phone and basically put it in everyone's hand day one in order to use mobile money banking services. And as a result, those phones ended up being smartphones. That meant Facebook was installed. WhatsApp was installed. Opera Mini helped also spread that even further because it cheapened the cost of internet. But fiber is still not being built, right? So when Starlink came in, they were like, okay, we'll go to the rural cities and we'll get access to all these businesses over there. But you're charging $50, $60 a month to guys who don't even have banking cards and can't even register on your system.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but Safaricom is over there giving them 3G, 4G. So how will you compete with Safaricom in such a market?
Yeah, true.
And then the rest of East Africa mimics what Kenya does. And so for the most part, mobile money is very prevalent in our societies over here. So there'll be a bit of time before Starlink's upkeep is there. I think most hotels have used Starlink and fiber. So it's going to be there. Where I think Starlink can actually benefit, and to a great scale, is Elon Musk and his next 10 moves. So, for example, he's bought X. Okay? He's bought X. He's planning on integrating some payment systems into X. Let's say X becomes an app where you can call, send data, watch content, and send money to.
Like WeChat.
Like WeChat. Exactly like WeChat. But it becomes a subscription-based service, which means you get connected to wherever you are globally on X via Starlink. So imagine that's the long term, right? So you can be in the middle of the Sahara, lost, but you open up X and you're connected.
Yeah.
Right? And you can send money to anyone via X. If they can achieve that level of penetration, I think X then bypasses everyone with Starlink because you can be anywhere on Earth. You don't need a phone line. You just open up X and you make calls.
And you're connected.
Yeah,
and
as
you
long
can
as the other
still
person
send money.
Exactly, and still send money.
Yeah,
you can pay for X. So that's the long-term vision he has in place. But for him to get to there, it means Starlink needs to have enough satellite dishes covering
the planet.
Right? So as the Earth tilts, the satellites cover each area. And so they need gateway sites on ground to receive the satellites. But what I'll say is working with SpaceX and Starlink guys, they're super aggressive, man.
All right.
They're cowboys, bro. These guys go out, they all do whatever they have to. They forget protocol. They just go, they build, and then we'll figure it out later. So I won't be surprised if they achieve that level of excellence.
I'm really observing that stuff with bated breath to see what's like. I'd like to really see what will take Safaricom out. I don't want them to be taken out. Like it's not my goal, but like the next level of technology. I'm curious about that. Look, back to your podcast.
Yes, sir.
How did you start podcasting, man?
So essentially, the podcast was meant to use as a sales tool to help me get more customers. Okay? Think about it this way. We're on LinkedIn. I don't know you. You don't know me. If I send you a cold message, hey, what's up? I'm from iColo. I do this and that. Like, you're bothering me. So like
who's this?
Like, who's this?
Yeah.
But if I tell you, Manu, I love what you're doing. I'd love to get you on a podcast to talk about your journey. All of a sudden, the emphasis is now on you.
Yeah.
And the leverage has shifted because you're like, this guy wants to interview me on a podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, I can get him on the podcast, and now I can have 1 hour or 2 hours of unfiltered access to this Jama. And that's worth 20 emails, 3 meetings worth of time because we're just talking about him and we're having this
and
discussion.
people like talking about themselves,
Correct.
Right? Yeah.
So that was a way to help me funnel into sales. And initially when I started the YouTube channel, I was on like trying to do lifestyle vlogs, fitness stuff, and fitness stuff was going very well before my injury.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
And then when my chest injury happened, that was like last year towards the end, it threw off the fitness stuff. And what I realized is the podcast I enjoyed, it doesn't take much effort, and I can get to speak to different guests. Because personally, I'm also, aside from sales and opening up networks, I'm also curious about the way the world works. And I said, you know what, might as well just go full
steam ahead.
Full steam ahead with the podcast and get access to different people from different walks of life. So it was always meant to be just an extension of the channel. But then I realized when the podcast started getting more views and people were more interested and people could tolerate me as a personality, I said maybe there's something there, right? And so that's when I just decided, forget the vlogs. The vlogs will be as a by the way.
Okay.
But the main thing will be the podcast. So it started off as that and then it morphed into something that I enjoy doing. It's given me access to folks such as yourself and beyond.
Why did you call it Coffee Pump?
It's a lame story, bro.
We have crutches.
So in USIU, there was I used to have morning classes, very early morning, like those ones that used to start at 9 for me, and that during university that was very early. For me, I used to wake up at like 12:1, and I used to go to the gym beforehand and then go to class. Now one of these days I was just so fed up, and I'd never experienced coffee in my life, and the barista noticed that I was like on fumes. He's like, why don't you just have an espresso shot? I was like, well, I don't like espresso. He's like, have it, it'll wake you up and you'll get the energy to go to the gym. So he gave it to me and I amkad. So I hit the gym, I came back, I'm like, yo bro, that was a crazy pump. It's like, yeah, it's thanks to coffee. It's a coffee
Damn
pump. And what ended up happening was I was like, okay, coffee pump, that sounds nice. So I just named my music playlist Coffee Pump.
Oh, okay.
And put all my songs, which is still there today. There's Coffee Pump and Coffee Pump 2.0. So I just started putting music over there. Now, when I was starting the podcast and looking for names, I was thinking of Sajid Men's Forum.
When you were targeting men.
Just, I don't know, bro. I was just coming up with random names like Wisdom of Life podcast,
Baba Dogo
special podcast, MC Chuti podcast,
Msikosane in business podcast.
Then my brother was like, yo, why don't you just call it Coffee Pump?
Yeah.
I'm like, Coffee Pump? Yeah, Coffee Pump, that's nice. Muscular, very muscular. And then the 2 arms is from the scene from Predator, where Arnold Schwarzenegger, he greets the hand of I think it's Carl Weather. I'm not sure who the other actor
black
is.
guy.
Yeah.
The black guy was killed during the movie.
Yeah. But you remember that scene where they both shake hands on the bicep? So that's what I wanted initially.
Okay.
As a logo over a cup of coffee, because coffee, then I'd fallen in love with it. And I just went to create the logo, by the way. I'd given a Jama the job. He was charging me 80K.
80?
I said, you know what, it's okay. We'll just, I just Photoshop. There was a picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger doing this. And I just Photoshopped a coffee cup. So that was the first logo.
Okay.
I went to ChatGPT when it just come out, and I'd explained to ChatGPT the scene. And then that's how he created the logo.
Oh.
And then I just got a guy to clean it up, Kidoko. But essentially the logo came through ChatGPT. And that's how it started, bro.
All right. So you started inviting your friends, sana,
so
just people in your circle.
So the first guest I had on was Leon Wetche, who at the time was a coach that was working with me.
Okay.
So it was all about muscle building. The second guy was a Jama called Magnus MG, who, to be honest, in hindsight, is a dipshit. He was like a budget and rotate.
All right.
Yeah, from Kenya over here, Mbagati.
He had opinions on what men should do.
He's just a dumbass. And if you're watching this, Murage, you're a fucking piece of shit. Like, just dumbass. Waste of my fucking time.
Yeah.
But I said, okay, it's different. Then the third I had was a guy, I think third or fourth was an actor that I was interested in. Because acting is something that my background is acting as well.
Oh, okay.
So I saw him, his name George Moore, and asked him, do you want to come on the podcast? And he said, sure. And now with George Moore, we're working on creating a film.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we did a whole script and that. So it started off me just messaging people I'm curious about. Not really friends. Then I had one of, Turbo Tales, the Luki.
No.
He's a big car guy.
Okay.
Him and George Kingara, they do a lot of stuff. So I had him on. That gave me my first multiple thousand views. Like, okay, there's something here. Then I had Earl Karanja, who's another car guy.
Oh, you and your podcast with Al Karanja are really good.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I think that's you're gonna do more with him.
Yeah, for sure. Earl is now. He also doesn't do podcasts that often.
Yeah.
Because he wants to sort of space it out.
Okay.
Because there's not much to talk about from week to week, right?
Yeah.
But him. So he just evolved.
You just messaged him?
Yeah, bro.
Oh, okay.
And the way it would work is, if I see you're following him and I know you, I'd ask you to connect me with him.
All right.
And that's typically how it would work. Is every time I meet with you, if there's someone I know, I'll just reach out and like, bro, can you get him to come?
Yeah.
And that's how it evolved, and it sort of built up from there.
How long did it take to get to 1,000?
I think about a year.
Well, was it something you're conscious about, or you're just doing your thing?
I was very fucking conscious, bro. I was checking it every day.
All right.
In 2023 June, we launched the channel. I don't think we got to 1,000 subscribers.
Okay, we're twins, bro.
Yeah, I don't think we got to 1,000 subscribers till December. That's because I remember doing this. I remember also doing travel vlogs to South Africa when I went and promoting it on Instagram. So that got us a lot of subscribers towards December.
Okay.
It was because of a goal I'd set, but those didn't really convert. I think when you promote content, it's
just on Turbo, but guys don't subscribe.
Yeah, exactly. So we got 1,000 subscribers. I'm like, we're never going to do that.
And the watch hours?
We reached 3,000.
Around the same time?
We didn't reach 3,000. We reached 3,000 watch hours sometimes in Q1.
Okay.
Which was after I had Lukman on, the C63 guy.
Okay.
So he got me quite a bit of views. Then in 2024, I think we had got 2,500 subscribers. 3,000 subscribers by the time December came on. It was still slow. But then when I had Kibe on, that got me to 10,000.
Subscribers?
Yeah, bro. I think Kibe got me to 10k subscribers in a month.
That's crazy.
And then ever since then I've had Prezo, I've had Muaf, I've had different guys who have had collectives. And what I've done is curated who I've had on, guys with following.
Okay.
I think not to toot my own horn, but I guess people like sort of the opposite feedback I give my guests, and so they've supported and they've rallied behind. And Eric has been a big push, by the way. Is
he the one who hooked you up with Kibe?
Yeah. He's the one who hooked me up with Kibe. He's the one who hooked me up with Chaksi, with Moff.
And who else is Kibe?
Khalif as well.
Yeah.
So Khalif as well. So you see, and that's why I love him. He's easy, man. He just hooks you up. He has no nanos. Because what he wants to do is he wants to build a cohort of podcasters that we can rotate and bounce off each other.
Yeah, true.
Rising tides raise all ships, right?
Yeah.
So there's no point in doing one. And
the cake is big, man.
Correct.
What are your thoughts? Sorry, we have maybe...
Yeah, no worries, bro.
I hope you're not in a hurry, man.
No, you tell me. I'm good, bro.
Yeah, we have maybe half an hour less or 20 minutes.
No worries.
So, what do you think of... There are these people... There seems to be some sort of... YouTube cartel. Okay, it's not formed consciously, but there are some people who keep going around podcasts.
Yeah.
All right. For example, I like this guy, by the way. This guy called Abel Mutua.
Yes.
And then there's a guy called Njugush.
Yes.
And there's who else is in that circuit? The common famous guys in Kenya, Chico, Jackie Matubia.
Yes.
So you find them on all the podcasts.
Yeah.
So which is fine, but what more? I don't know if this goes through your mind. What more am I gonna talk to this guy about?
Correct.
Rather than I bring in, the other day on this podcast, I had some guy called Eugene, not known, but the guy is brilliant. He's this engineer guy. He was talking about batteries and all that shit.
Correct.
Yes, I won't get 1 million views now.
But it's interesting, right?
But it's so interesting. Maybe I'll get a couple of thousand views, but over a couple of years, I don't even know where I'm going with this, but
No,
the thing
I completely
is,
understand what you're saying.
I'm wondering about how I can have guys I am interested in on my podcast.
Yes.
And then because they are here, people are gonna watch. You know, like Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Guys watch strangers on Joe Rogan.
Correct,
because, hey.
because it's Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I'm of the same opinion that. So to address the cartel aspect, I mean, Abel Mutua, shout out to him. He came on the podcast. But if you look at the podcast I did with Abel Mutua and Eric did with Abel Mutua, or Abel Mutua did with someone else, there's a similar. I feel it's a bit similar.
Oh, okay.
In terms of his story and
yes,
that, right? But the benefit for him is he's got a service he's selling and movies he's selling, so it makes sense for him.
All right.
To have more and more eyeballs, because eyeballs generate ticket sales for him, and he's completely in that. But I've seen what you mean. Is there's the people that just rotate and sort of do the same thing.
Yeah. Like there's a Fueneka's podcast which has all the celebrities. I wish, and I think it's fine, but I wish these guys who already have a level of clout would just bring in a regular guy who's brilliant at a certain area. Maybe a brilliant physicist, a brilliant...
And I guess it's also...
But maybe that make business sense.
But if you look at some of these podcasts, and I don't want to name them out, right? They're talking about body counts and mamas they've wekad and dick sizes and this and that. There's some that focus on that. And they've got thousands and thousands and thousands of views, right? Hundreds of thousands of views, because that's what we absorb, right? And then you've got other podcasts on the end of the spectrum, maybe us, right, who want to interview guys with batteries and this and that.
Yeah, but you see, us guys, for instance, my podcast, our podcast, we tell dick stories, many dick stories. In the middle, some of the other episodes, we can't all have dick stories podcast.
Correct, but you see,
some other podcasts we have an engineer on.
Correct. And that's
engineer stories.
That's where Iotwe, Coffee Pump, and Kisiangani all get along. Is we tell 9/11 jokes and dick jokes and this, but it's not the main. It's not social banter and social commentary of who's sleeping with who this week.
Oh, yes.
Who's
Gossip.
Gossip. Yeah, exactly. Gossip. It's not a gossip column. There's all that shit, but at the end of it, there's a unique story about data centers.
Yes.
There's a unique story about batteries. There's a unique story about coffee farms. Okay? I agree that they should also... I'm not sure if it's characters people are putting on, but basically, because the way we do podcasts, you have to really get into it and
into your life,
and some people are not comfortable doing that, right?
But do you think the script will flip, or we are being purists?
No, I think people believe in that. If you look at Theo Von and how genuine he is, why did presidential candidates actually end up going on that place, right? If you look at Joe Rogan and the heavy hitters he's had on, because people
bad friends,
there's a difference between watching the 9 o'clock news and hearing it on Ikonini. Because Ikonini Mwaf does not filter it, he gives it as is, and that's what appeals to the broader audiences. There's no sense check, there's no people writing a script behind. It's raw, man. It's the human form of emotion, and that's what people are slowly straying away from.
I think so.
And it'll take a bit of time, but slowly but surely you will have people that just have guys who talk about stuff, have the comedy relief on it, but don't sugarcoat stuff. And it's not filtered for a punchline like news is. And advertisement revenue is sort of tying them to say certain things in certain filtered or political notions at the back. There's also that element, right? Yeah.
Do you have guys who text you like, I want to come to your podcast?
Yeah, I do.
How do you handle that?
It depends. So there are businesses that have called me and said, I want to come on, and I'm new to that. And Chucksy was actually,
it comes at a certain level, right?
Yeah, Chucks guided me. He said, look, if there's a business wanting to promote something on your podcast and are taking up your airtime, you will have a conversation with them but charge them for it.
Yeah.
If there's just a Jama who's interested in something, like there was a nuclear scientist, Aga Omondi, he reached out, he's like, bro, I'm a nuclear scientist, I'd love to come and talk about it. For me, that was interesting. So I had him on, no charge at all. Right? And I've never charged anyone thus far, but I'm starting to see that thing coming in. There are a lot of people that DM, can I come on the podcast? Okay, why do you want to come on the podcast? Oh, I've struggled, I've this, I've that. It's a great story, but it's what's the unique element? What's the USP, right? If I get Kisiangani guy on, if I get Manu on, Manu has also gone through loss, he's gone through struggle, but he's got Kisiangani that's a unique hook for him.
True.
Right? So it also depends on what I'm interested in. And I think at the end of the day, that who appeals to you? I've got guys that I want to bring on that are from the gaming industry that no one has heard of. Do you know Colin Moriarty, Greg Miller? For those of you guys that play video games, those are guys I know. Those are the guys that I'm into. So the main thing for Coffee Pump is, who would I want to have a coffee with? Fuck the audience. I mean, with all respect and love for support.
Respectfully.
my main interest is me. Okay? And then letting them in on the conversation. Because if you've noticed, the conversations that are interesting are those ones that are had around a table and people are eavesdropping inside.
Yeah, true.
Those are always interesting. It's not forced. Granted, I've done some, again, complete dipshits and waste of my fucking time because I thought the audience would, based on the audience feedback. I didn't enjoy it. Okay, and the other thing is, what I think we should start doing is, as cohorts, is start rotating on different people's podcasts and talk about weekly news. So come up with a WhatsApp group and let's say Trump is trending in this thing. Same banter the way we're talking about, same dick jokes, but Trump and top 10 news, which I think Moff is doing now to a perfection.
Hey, Moff has perfected. Shout out to Moff. Moff had me on his podcast the other day.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yo, that thing gave me like 150 subscribers, bruh.
So you see, he's doing it.
Shit.
Moff is the new TV. But by the time you record and you fika home at night, there's a clip.
All the time I open my YouTube, there's a pod.
If something happens in Nairobi in the morning, Moff has talked about it there. But again, that's Moff's niche.
Yeah, that's his style.
That's his style. Yeah. Do you want to be a news, like, do you want to reiterate the news? For me, personally, it's not my my cup of tea. I will talk about it in cohort meetups. Let's say when we do one with you and Eric, we'll talk about how the week went.
Yeah, true.
But what I want is subject matter experts, all right? Why are there no fucking aliens in Kenya? You know? Let's get a Jama on, right? How do we get in the porn? How do we set up OnlyFans for mamas over here?
How do you subsidize your income by shooting
I would love
porn?
to talk to a pimp in Kenya.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to a how.
Yeah, exactly. So you see, these are conversations that pique our interest, and so we'll stay true to that. They won't do views.
I think after a while they will. If you can hang in there long enough.
And you need calluses for that, bro.
Yeah.
You need to stick to it. You need to be true to your word.
Yeah, it has to be a long game.
But every once in a while, and again, Eric is sort of the reason I've fallen into this path is, if you do 4 for yourself, do 1 for the views. All right? So you'll do, let's say you do 5 podcasts a month. Make sure one of them is a heavy hitter. From a John Alanamu.
Because it works. The heavy hitters really heavy hit.
Yeah, exactly. So a John Alanamu to a Nabel Mutua to a Kibe
to a Njugush
to a Mwaf to a Kisiangani. Manu, you're coming on. So you see, the thing is, because you've got a collective that I want to now tap into. So I need to have guys like you on.
Yeah, true.
But then every now and then you also, I think you just have to punch above your weight. Like the big homie CC one with Eric. That was punching above his weight.
That's why, in fact, I wanted to say, when we were talking about Moaf and his news reviews, I think you more or less stumble into your thingy.
Yeah.
Because Moaf was saying the other day he was just chilling, and then he's like, see, I just react to this news item. He was just sitting. Then he decided to record the reaction and posted it. So I think each and every one of us eventually are just going to stumble onto the thing.
Yeah, that's how even Joe Rogan does it. He'll have a specific guest, but they'll talk about everything. From the specific guest's reason for being there to their services that may have aged the curiosity of Joe Rogan. Also, what's going on in the world right now. And I think we also need to stretch beyond Kenya, bro. We really want to make money from this thing.
I'll tell you what I wanted to do beginning of the year. And I think I will still do it. I wanted to, because this podcast started out as a comedy podcast, as in terms of on a foundational level.
Yeah.
So I used to bring in the comics because we had nowhere where to talk about our gigs,
which is brilliant.
Yeah, we didn't have a place where we can sell our gigs. We didn't have a place where comics can, just be themselves and talk about their craft.
Yes.
So it started out like that. So I've had almost all the comedians in Kenya so far. Okay, not all of them, majority. And then I was thinking, now I start going to talk to the comedians in Uganda. I talk to the comedians in Tanzania. Then I keep going down. I go to South Africa. I've been there a few times. Now I know some of them.
That's your unique selling point.
And then I just start going to the States, to Britain,
I think
wherever, Europe, like that.
So,
Sorry.
Was that
the thing was still on.
But the thing is leverage onto that, bro, because I think there's a stand-up collective is doing some show where there's a South Africa guy coming.
Get
him on the podcast, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, tap into the thing, because as many eyeballs as you can get on you, the better it is for your podcast.
Yeah, true.
But one thing is, like, for mic check guys, Kisiangani guys, Iotwe, Ikonini, I think there's even the Sandwich podcast. I've not reached out to them, but I see what they're doing. There are a couple of them, but if we can all start rotating on each other's and have this cohort build up, we all benefit from it.
True. Yeah, true.
Because views are just going to increase. It's not like one person's going to take over the next views. There are personalities that you build up on. People believe in that personality and they see you go to places. Yeah,
man. No, but shout out to you, man. Thanks for coming through. I don't think we even touched the surface of this podcast. There's so many. We've had so many.
We've gone here and there.
Diversions.
Yes.
But I think we'll keep doing this.
For sure, bro. I think I need to plan with you. So I'm traveling. I'm out for a week, so the week coming on, you tell me, would you like to do the midnight run ama unataka kuja studio?
Me, Maze, whichever you call me, for me, I'll come.
I think we do studio and we do midnight run.
I'm easy, bro.
So you come and then we plan as well. Remind me your co-host name.
This is Bashir.
Shout out Bashir.
But then I'll have you on the radio show too. Come through. It's a bit.
Tell me about that before. Do we have time?
Yeah, we do.
I saw that. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, man. We got this gig so actually the guy called me.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, do you want to come do radio? We're going to pay you X amount of money. So me, immediately, I'm thinking, yo, that's polite.
That's nice.
So they wanted me to do the drive show, which is in the afternoon.
Okay, from what time to what time?
It was supposed to be from 3 to 7.
Okay.
But I was like, yo, I don't feel like doing the drive show. Because you see, during the day, I'm doing the podcast, right?
Yes.
Most of the guests who come here come at 2 p.m.
Okay.
And then I also didn't want to do a music show. Because those links, they call them links on radio, right? The part where people talk. So they're very short.
Very short.
Then music.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's very old.
Yes.
So it's like, why don't we do a nighttime show?
Like
we have an hour.
Like a breakfast club type.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we have an hour, no music. We just have podcast style. Because podcasts are the thing right now.
That's dope, bro.
Okay. And then, that's what I'd be interested in. And then I'm like, I know a guy I can come through with. All right. So I recommended this Bashir guy.
Yes.
So they're like, all right. So I went, I pitched. They're like, that works.
I saw the Iotwe one as well. Proper.
Yeah.
Man. That was your first show.
No. We've done a couple of shows. We've had Mwaf. We've had Rapture. Have you had Rapture?
Yes, Rapture the Scientist.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
I need to get Rapture as well.
Yeah. So it's, but it's different from this because there's a lot of input about other people, what they want.
Okay.
You get?
So you have to sort of direct the conversation.
Yeah, they're like, why don't you, like, now if you see our convo, the way it has had diversions, someone would be like, wait, no, keep him on his story. Just stay on his story.
Okay.
I'm like, I don't want to stay on his story. This trajectory is where it's at.
Is there money in radio? Like
to be honest, radio is not doing well on a larger scale. But this guy who's invested in that radio station has his own strategy, right? And it seems to be working. I don't want to share it here, obviously.
To be honest, I think radio still has huge potential.
It has huge potential with... First, there has to be a slight difference in how they're doing it. All right? You can't do it the same way with the playbook of 1970. Like there's another guy who's telling me, there's this way to do it. I'm like, that is why people are not listening. Because you're doing it in the 60s style.
Yeah, so this suggestion you gave to them, like the Breakfast Club style thing, I think is brilliant.
Yeah, I think
because I would tune into that just to hear what you guys have.
You've said you watched Eric.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. You wouldn't have.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, that was, in fact, that's the reason I'd asked Eric, who's this guy's podcast? Because Eric called me, he's like, yo, I'm heading to a radio show. I'm like, radio show?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing on radio?
In 2025.
In 2025. Then he's like, Kisiangani, the guy I was telling you about. He asked for your number, and then you reached out as well. After that, so that was props to you, man.
Yeah, man. So we're on radio with him,
with Bashir, right?
Yeah, with Bashir.
And then
this is George. He's a brilliant comedian.
Awesome.
He comes through for we have a thing we do here called Full House.
Okay, yeah, the four of you sit over here.
Four of us are here. People love that stuff. I like it because it's growing beyond guest interviews. So when I bring a guest, they don't watch, but they watch Full House, which is crazy. So shout out George, and then Nduta. She's our resident female voice over here. She tries. I feel like she grounds us.
Okay.
Because those guys are talking about dicks. She's like, stop that. She didn't say that literally, but she's an awesome comedian also.
Awesome.
So all of these guys are comics.
Then I've seen Amandeep over there.
Amandeep is right there. He was supposed to come to your pod, right?
Yeah, so I think we're planning with him, but I think, to be honest, Aman, if you want to figure, just let me know when. You'll figure.
Yeah.
And then,
Doug Mutai is the founder of Stand Up Collective.
Yes.
So I used to do a podcast with him initially when we started.
Okay.
We used to call it Thermos Edition because we had this.
Is it the first ones you used to do?
Yes.
Yes.
And then Steve Charlo is the guy who used to be our producer.
Okay.
It was a joke production though. Damn. So you'd see this guy eating in the background, like the camera would fall, like it was just crazy.
No, but I like your setup, bro. It's automated. That's the main thing. Is you can just.
Yes.
How long does it take you then to edit this? Like
this, I want it out tomorrow.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, this has to be out tomorrow.
Utafanya waste and above, eh?
Yeah, definitely.
You people are like, wait there.
No, it'll be here and above. Yeah, man. So that's what's up. So we are still improving this piece.
Awesome.
When we moved here, it was cream. I was telling you about the one of this building. He didn't do much reinvestment.
I was trying to chop out the calculations of how much he's earning a month. To be honest, if I had that much, bro, ningetulia too.
Yeah.
That you want to fuck you, do your own podcast over here.
But you guys, if you had all the money in the world, would you still? But I think now you'd still do the podcast, right? Knowing the experience you've had now.
If I had all the money in the world, I fucking rent a plane and do a podcast inside.
As you're traveling. Podcast as you're traveling.
Podcast on the go, quite literally. Because even though you have all the money on earth, you don't have all the knowledge.
Yeah, true.
And I think the biggest thing you can take away from this earth is just to absorb the wisdom and experiences of different folks. And for us as podcasters, that's the biggest benefit we have is normally people don't get unfiltered access, and we have a chance of seeing beyond the veil of people we're close.
And then we are also documenting history, especially on this side of the planet.
Correct.
We don't have a lot of that.
We don't.
So with people like you and me, that's why these guys should watch out with this, podcasting with people just because they are popping.
Yeah. Correct.
Okay, they are good, like you said.
Yes.
But if we can document history so that we can have a map of where we were and where we're going.
I haven't thought about it that way, but that's actually so true. I mean, looking at this 10 years from now.
Wait, how's your pod with the Caliph, man? Like, how did you get that guy? Like, Eric gave you the number, then you just called him.
I initially reached out to Caliph. He blue-ticked me.
You had his number?
I had his number. Then I messaged him. I got it through Kuzo. Then I was like, Eric, you know this guy. You're quite close with him. Then he got arrested.
Yeah.
So I was like, just let's tulia. Let's hope he's okay. Then he came out, Eric, and we were just talking with Eric. Eric was like, yo, there are a few guys I want to see you do a podcast with. Because Eric is a huge podcaster. He absorbs podcasts.
Yeah.
So it's like, I want to see Sajid Cairo. I'm like, can you make it happen? But we do the cow one because he's done a lot of studio ones. Eric just called him up and like, yo, my boy, he wants to have you on. He's like, yes, Sajid, he's messaged me, I'll get back to him. And then I just called him, I'm like, bro, can we do it? He's like, you tell me. And just an easy guy. Yeah. So what happened was we planned to do Friday evening. So what we do is we normally pick you up with the car.
Yeah.
And then we fit the camera, we do the mic checks. So what happened was we picked him up at 8. Bluetooth mic is not working.
Damn.
He's okay. It's fixed at 8:30. He's working in the car. And we're not talking because I told him just we'll start. But then he's just patient. He's like, don't worry, bro. You take your time. I'm here doing biashara. So we put in, then something else stops working. And then something else stops working. And then Caliph was like, oh, by the way, I've got all these because I have a camera guy if you want to use. So we used his mics.
All right.
And then the camera was set up. And then we went out, it started raining. So now it's like 9:30, 10. So I was like, bro, I think we might need to schedule. He's like, Niko na wewe paka 1, 2 in the morning. What are you stressed out about? I'm here. I've dedicated this towards you. And he's a big shot like Caliph. So he's like, why don't we drive towards Langata sides? You know where the Java is over here? Just
Galleria?
See Galleria. When you this road up on Yuma, when you go past Shell KFC, you go over the flyover, you go towards Carnival. On the right, there's a Java over there.
Where?
Carnival, opposite Carnival.
There's a new Java there.
See, kuna Java ko petrol station kwa Rubis or something.
Me, I've never seen that Java, you guy.
You haven't? Okay.
It's new.
It was where
the Java I know on this road is the one, I don't know if they shut it down. It was inside Wilson Airport.
Apana, so unaenda past Wilson.
Power off.
You keep going straight. See, Kani's on the left.
Yeah.
On the right, kuna petrol station. In that petrol station, there used to be a mug and bean.
Oh,
That mug and bean has become a Java. Anyway, so we went there with him. I was like, bro, and he was like, why don't we go these sides, because maybe it's higher and lower in something.
So at that time you aren't shooting yet.
We weren't shooting.
Yeah.
We started and stopped like 3-4 times. Because now whenever it would rain, we'd have to bring the camera inside.
Yeah.
So we bought a coffee. People started like celebrity. Everyone rushed towards him. Photographs, hugging him, this and that. So I'm like, where's the hate for this guy?
Yeah.
Like the 100 people over here were chasing after him, all want to take pictures with him.
That guy has charisma.
So then we bought the coffee, it stopped drizzling. So tulianza 10:30. I dropped him home at 2 a.m.
Shit.
And Easy said the story again, energy. When I collabed with him, he accepted the collabs.
Damn.
There's some motherfuckers you collab with them, they don't, I don't want to say who, there's this fucking bitch. She didn't even fucking, bro, if I say, they'll know who it is now. Anyway, fuck her. She didn't even repost it. Bro, not even liked.
For real, you guys.
I was like, fuck this.
But you guys, there's some collabs must even made on accept.
Really?
You guys, sometimes I'm on a podcast. Then I share an intimate thing.
Oh, okay.
So now, I think when I'm off the pod, I'm listening to it. I'm like there's a collab Moaf sent me. I don't know what shit I said about my ex. So I'm like, this can be used in court.
This can be used in court. Okay. So I understand in those parts.
But I hear you though, because even me, I've ever sent out collabs and someone died.
That's why when I'm doing reels now, I'm very specific not to put too personal a thing.
Yeah, I think that's easier.
Yeah, but there's some stuff where I was like, Eric, this is going to go viral. And Eric's like, wait, but now we can bring a corporate job and we can wake up.
Yeah.
So then I respect that, yeah. Like Prezzo also, he accepted the collab. But there's one he rejected. I think because it was saying some crazy shit about.
Moaf sent me a few collabs which I need to audit.
Just audit them. So I mean,
so this guy was easy, yeah?
Easy, bro. Like no nonsense. And the good thing is I got business requests for him, and he's always on WhatsApp, accessible.
What do you think of that guy generally?
From my experience with him, positive. I think Cairo just flew too close to the sun.
I wanted to say exactly that same line.
He was, I think, to be honest, the mistakes he's made with money, I've made with money as well.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, is because when money's coming in and you think there's no end to it, you're like, it's our.
Yeah, true.
We'll do it. And every business is guilty of fucking doing this, okay?
Yeah.
If there are businesses that say Cairo is a thief, fuck you. All of you motherfuckers have done this shit. What happens is, let's say you're making 10 million a month, all right? There's some instances, and bro, I guarantee you people have used that money to do personal shit.
Yeah.
Because they're like, we'll repay it the next month. This happens. Everyone fucking does this, okay? What ended up happening for him was, I think he's just started getting targeted.
Yeah.
And when he started getting targeted, and he admitted it as well on the podcast, when he started dabbling into politics, the higher up started affecting his business.
All right, with the KRA shit.
With the KRA shit, putting you in front of gossip columns, saying you're a thief. All of a sudden, people who have given you deposits want their money back. So that cash flow has stopped, but you've spent the money elsewhere.
Yeah,
you get, and so then people are like, why are you spending money that belongs to this? But you have to realize I've been having positive cash flow for the past 10 years.
Yeah.
All right. In order for me to make money, I need to spend money. And how do I spend money? By advertising myself, by going out, by doing this, by spending money. Because I know orders are always going to come in.
Yeah.
But that cut everything off, and he sort of got caught in between.
Damn.
It's just a business mistake that, again, I wouldn't even. I'd say he's learned from it, but it's not something that I would hold up against him. It's not like he's murdered someone. So sometimes, bro, I think we blow things out of proportion. And again, he didn't want to talk about the cases and what was going on because it's still in court.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so whether people were paid or not paid or this or that. I'm just basing it on the 2.5, 3 hours I had with the man. He was extremely professional with me, extremely friendly, very, very patient. And for someone at his caliber, 400 or something thousand followers, you have no right to be so patient with someone whose podcast keeps fucking up. Yeah, chill guy.
But I think he still got it, man.
Yeah.
We're still good here.
Yeah. So
how about Andrew Kibe? How is it having him on?
Andrew Kibe, no homo, love the man to bits.
Yeah.
He made Coffee Pump who he is. I will always give him flowers and respect. He is. I got to look at Kibe behind the view of the camera, and what I'll say is he's Kibe is just a nice guy. He's a genuinely nice guy.
Pretty quiet too. Quiet-ish.
And we saw him in his element in a pool hall, and we've developed with Eric this relationship. And again, maybe I'll just admit it over here. We wanted Kibe to keep coming back and be this trio.
There's an episode you guys did, man.
Yeah.
I even texted Eric. I was like, yo, these episodes are for people our age. Because I could relate to all the stories you guys were picking.
Which one was this? Was this on... Because we've done 3 with him.
It was you, but it was on your pod.
Okay. So this is the one with the gun showroom. Where we were holding the guns.
It was before that one for the gun. I haven't watched the one for the gun yet.
Okay. Anyway, so the thing is, Kibe loved coming on the shows and we were getting a lot of traction, yeah? But when we had the discussion, after the camera shut down, he was like, you guys, let's do this. Let's start and do this together. And what we can do is we can all benefit each other, right? Kibe is a very well-known brand, but there's some people who don't want to work with him, who would work with me or Eric. And Kibe would bring in the view. So it was a win-win situation.
So what was the arrangement? Like start a new page?
Exactly. Start a new podcast. And the 3 of us contribute to time. And looking at it from Eric's perspective, okay? Eric is a pilot for very well-known airlines. He, on the side, with the little time he has off, he runs his podcast, okay? I work, I wouldn't consider 9 to 5. I mean, I left work at 7. I've got a call at 2 in the morning. With the little time I have left, I run my podcast. Now, dedicating a third of your time as well to building a podcast with Kibe would require a lot of effort from both of us.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't be able to give it 100%. Okay? And there was also the discussion of us shutting down our podcast and focusing on this full time.
It couldn't just work on its own, like it works it lives as its own entity, and you guys continue what you're doing.
That was a possibility, but also who's going to commit to time? Who's going to commit to funds? Because this is again stuff that requires investment from me, Kibe, and Eric. All right, I'm still open to it, but one thing has to give. I have to quit my day job. I have to do something else because I feel even in the scale of Coffee Pump, I'm not delivering. I'm struggling to do an episode a week, bro. How am I going to do it with Kibe?
Yeah.
Right? Eric is doing 1-2 episodes a week. And Eric has the benefit of having a roster. I travel so much. I don't have this. And yes, I can be more disciplined and try and record 3-4 podcasts in a row. But then I can't have them all launch in a week.
Yeah.
Because I need buffers as well. So it wouldn't be fair to Kibe. I still, again, I'm talking about this here, but we still have to meet with them and we still have to agree. But yeah, he said he didn't want to come on our podcast until we do our own.
Okay. No, but those podcasts were fun. Especially for my...
would you start up one and then just do your own?
I'd let it have its own life. Because there are things I'll get from that podcast which I'll not get. There are things you will bring out. You know, the podcasting is an image of the environment you're in.
Correct.
So there are things that will come out on that podcast which won't... They'll only come out there, but I also need to see this other version of you on this other podcast. So I wouldn't shut down this one fully, just focus on this, because that means we've lost out on this other one.
Yeah, but even the thing is of doing like a frequency of once a week on Wednesdays 7 is impossible.
Yeah, true.
Because again, Eric has a roster which changes. He could be flying on Monday and Wednesday.
Yeah. You have to be
adapted. And for me to adapt and say, okay, I need to go, it can't work for me.
But maybe the way it was, like instead of making it all this formal thing, maybe have a target. Let's do 50 random episodes or 100. Have you ever had the YouTube theory of let's do 100 videos and that's when we've begun?
Yeah. But that's the thing is, will it get the same love and affection? Because we can't commit to a day that we're all available.
Yeah.
Okay, we also have to talk about funds and this and that.
Yeah.
Because none of us own equipment. We're all leasing it out.
Yeah.
Right? We're all working on doing that. So it's a lot at play. And having a full-time job, balancing relationships, having a podcast, and trying to do another podcast as well, something will give.
Yeah, I'm sure, man.
But what I'll say is YouTube has been extremely unfair to the guy, man. Kibe recently launched his own YouTube channel. They fucking cancelled him for nothing.
True, man. He didn't last for a couple of hours.
That was messed up, eh?
Yeah, man.
Why did they cancel him?
I think because of the original cancellation. You remember the original one?
Yeah, but...
When he got the platform originally?
Yeah.
So once that happens to you, anything you put up gets iced.
So surprisingly, that's why Kibe.
But why not just go hard on X and on Rumble?
Yeah.
Andrew Tate has been cancelled from YouTube. We
Yeah.
still watch him.
But do you think what do you call Rumble? Actually, Rumble doesn't get enough.
It's not there, but Kibe has the clout to take you there. The few times I've been on Rumble for a Kenyan person,
Yeah.
actually I go for two people. I've gone to Rumble for Kibe and I've gone to Rumble for Tate.
True. Same.
All right.
Same.
I look at a guy called Alex Jones.
Yes.
He was cancelled from YouTube. You got Kitambo.
So he went
I think
to
he was one of the first guys who was cancelled.
Did he go to Rumble? Oh?
He just started his own thing. He started his own website.
Crazy.
You guys, have you ever seen that guy's lives on X? There are 400,000 people watching, bruh. And it's live for long.
That's insane. Eh?
So you just forget that there was something called YouTube. I know it's easier said than done. Then you just go hard on wherever you are.
Yeah, man. This one thing is he's given us a good opportunity. I think we owe him the respect to at least try. It's just we need to figure out our logistics and our timing, and it's another thing.
No, but shout out to you. Thanks for coming through for this pod. You said you woke up at 5 a.m.
Yes, bro.
Yeah, you're running on fumes right now. You have a 2 a.m.
Yes, I have a 2 a.m. call
tonight.
Yes.
Shit.
With Asia Pacific sides.
Damn.
Nice hour. It's what we do.
And then what time are you getting to work in the morning?
Kesho is busy because we have board members down. So I need to be at the Marriott at 9.
Shit. So you're going to get like 3-4 hours.
But it's our, man. It's our. Caffeine. And then the benefit is it's not every day. So then I can sleep in. I can sleep in then Wednesday maybe till like 9:30, 10. And then go to work in the afternoon if I have anything.
Next time I hang out, I'll ask you about data centers. I had this wild idea, right?
Tell me.
At the CG, you go to Namanga. And then you build a place. And then now you keep data there. So it's like an off-site.
There's all counter.
That was Kitambo. It was like 10 years ago. I was telling a friend of mine.
It's a brilliant idea, but there's a counter argument against that. Do we have enough time?
No. I want you to go rest. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it on another podcast. Yeah,
but thanks for coming through.
I appreciate it.
If you haven't seen this gentleman's podcast, go check it out.
Thanks, guys. Coffee Pump podcast on my channel, Sajid Vayani. Yes,
Sajid Vayani is
a YouTube channel. Coffee Pump is I'm an arrogant son of a bitch. I just named the channel Sajid Vayani. Exactly. That's why we get along. And so Coffee Pump is over there. We do 2 versions. We do the main podcast and we do a one in the car called Midnight Coffee Run. Check them out. On Instagram, you can find Coffee Pump Podcast.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Man, cheers everyone. Remember to become a member of the podcast from $1 and above.
Yes, sir.
Alafu pia mcheze na Mpepe.
Yes, please. Send some
money
and say 50% is for Vayani. Tugawanye.
Sindio, eh? So see you guys at the next one.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thanks, brother. This was good, man. This was really good.